University of North Carolina will be their center fielder wearing number 22, Reese Hampton. Holding down second base from Mississippi State, one of the Bulldogs, number 2, Hunter Stovall. At third base from Minnesota, one of the Golden Gophers, number 12, Micah Coffey. In left field from Central Michigan, he wears number 19, Daniel Robinson. At first base from Ole Miss, number 15, Ryan Olenek. At right field from Iowa, one of the Hawkeyes, number 30, Robert Newstrom.
Hi, Chris.
At shortstop from the Owls of Rice University, number 4, Ford Proctor. Behind the plate today from Rice University, number 9, Dominic DiCaprio. At DH, he's from USA. Of course, that's the University of South Alabama in Mobile, wearing number 11, Brendan Donovan. And on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, he wears number 28. From Clemson is Brooks Crawford. And ladies and gentlemen, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are coached by the veteran Mr. Chad Gassman. Starting things out for your Brewster Whitecaps, he wears number 6, the shortstop from the University of Washington, A.J. Graffinino. At third base from Western Michigan, number 2, Connor Smith. Behind the plate today from Bryant University in Rhode Island, number 9, Mickey Gasper. At first base from the University of North Carolina, number 35, Zach Gahagan. From Arizona State University, number 24, Hunter Bishop. At DH today from Georgia, one of the Bulldogs, number 10, Michael Curry. At second base from Maryland, one of the Terrapins, number 39, Nick Dunn. In left field from the Jayhawks of Kansas, number 27, Devin Foyle. In right field from the University of West Virginia, number 31, Darius Hill. And ladies and gentlemen, on the mound from Indiana U, he wears number 34, Jonathan Steiber. And ladies and gentlemen, your Brewster Whitecaps are coached by Jamie Shevchik, assisted by Austin Schraub, Brian Smythe, Will Delgado, Tom Weber, and Jason Kensler.
So we're live on YouTube, ready to go with that. Would you prefer I take the front half? Or
ladies and gentlemen, the officials for today's contest: at second base, Billy McCullum; first base, James Forsica; and ladies and gentlemen, on the dish, the one and the only Mr. Jeff Kinney.
How was the beach?
It was windy. Very windy.
Windy here too. Nice. So it's R&D line. Yeah. Pictures of both on my phone. I'll text them to you real quick. My phone's gonna actually need it today. Oh, of course. Oh, geez, I did not see that. Oh my gosh. I thought you were going in for the dab. You had a thing in his hand. What is that? It's like a pocket. Oh, nice. Dude, of course, come on. Oh yeah, you can make a guest appearance, bro. When do you want to come on?
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
We can go like a duel. We can go like a duel. Okay.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, of
The more
course.
the merrier.
Get both of you on here. That'd be mad fun. Yeah, we have extra headsets. One of us
No
would hop
way.
on. Yeah, dude, whatever you
The
want
more
to come
the
on. Like,
merrier.
We got all-star Davis Barrett cards in here combined with Teddy or
no, come on.
You would say that.
No, it would not.
Yes, you would. I heard your name.
I'm honest. You guys could pitch me out of the freaking building. You could pitch me out of the building for crying out loud.
All right. We're what inning do you want to? Second inning.
Go. How's about the third?
Third. When our team's hitting.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Nice. Oh man, it was fun, guys.
Can we do a practice run real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So.
I just wanted to know if you were going to send me the lineups.
Hey, are you the one doing stats?
No, I'm broadcasting too.
You're passing.
Oh, no. Don't come to me with stats.
Oh, no, I had an error with one of my stats. I didn't know.
You never want to be the stat guy.
No.
Mistake number one is being the stat guy. I made that mistake last year.
All right. Go for the touchdown.
I know.
Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. You excited with Davis Bader, pitcher for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Davis, we have a beautiful setup right here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You sound like you sound natural though. It's fun.
I appreciate that.
Chris and Chris.
Yeah.
I'm going to get another name on the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Spokes are in the house today. Said he's been doing agility training since he was about 8 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, reset him. He's fast, but he's yeah.
If it's not working, let me just do that. So. We actually have to jump on live.
I am
Just
aware of
right
that
now.
fact.
I know. I was talking to them. Just
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we're jumping on live here. Shows how it's going. I'm excited.
no, we just go on there and do it. We
Is this
got
your
our prep
first time
done.
ever doing this?
What? No, I did it last summer too.
Oh no, I wasn't asked. I didn't know like if you've done this at school or
Oh yeah, I've done it at school. Been doing it since high school.
where do you go to school?
I go to Syracuse.
Okay, sweet. So do you do it for their baseball team? Or?
They don't have one.
So basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
You do basketball?
Yeah, I can do basketball.
That's huge. Basketball's huge.
Basketball's fun.
Corner.
Yeah, just like
I
that.
don't care.
Wait,
I don't care at all.
I'm going into my junior year.
Oh, sweet. How old are you? 20?
Yeah, about 20.
I'm about ready to go.
Hey man, happy birthday.
Thanks, really.
Yeah. You turned 22 yesterday, right?
Oh, happy birthday.
Not yesterday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
My birthday.
All right.
Remember that.
Mine's in January, which sucks because I can't go to the ballpark for my birthday.
What does it sound like when I'm pitching?
Davis Vayner out of Alabama, stepping up there, fresh off of your college season, killing it. You know, that's my
Come on. Now, you mean, honestly.
Here's Connor Green, fresh off of a great performance up at Wareham. 3 solid innings pitched. And, you know, he's getting out there, he's battling, he's throwing hard, he can shove, man.
Say it how it is. Say
He's
it.
got a 9.5 ERA.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is.
Oh, man.
It's lower to live
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
They market for
That one cut
they
the
are marketing for
just the side.
Oh, you're trying to you're doing the stats again. All right,
Cabral
see.
is the guy.
John
Cabral
Cabral
is
like
the
a
guy.
2. Beautiful 2.
A 2 is very nice.
But I'm 3 now.
Oh.
I was like a 7. Even this.
Some ball. Come on.
Is it Steerer?
It's Stiver.
Oh, Stiver.
Stiver, yeah.
Oh.
Handwriting was weird.
So I was asking him this the other day, Chris. What is your what would be like the dream job?
Well, I'm a hockey player
Yeah.
first. Baseball is like number 2, and there's no hockey or something. I am from Connecticut. I'm an Islanders fan. I'm a New York Islanders fan. That would be my dream job to
So like
call
play
games.
up for them,
Yeah,
to play off what?
yeah,
Alright.
definitely.
Yeah, we gotta get them here on the broadcast.
Chris.
They're kind of hot, yeah.
We'll be here in a few minutes.
Come on, we'll talk to you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Brewster Whitecaps.
All right, Chris. We're
Ladies and gentlemen, boys
That
and
works.
girls, would you kindly rise? Gentlemen, please remove your
Welcome here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy alongside Chris Walker, getting things started from Stony Brook Field, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at 6 and 8 take on the Brewster Whitecaps at 8 and 6 in an East and West Division matchup. We'll get a little bit more on that in a break, but first we have to just stand up and salute our troops with another rendition of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kate Downer. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
And we're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy alongside my broadcast partner, Chris Walker, where we are getting set for an East and West Division matchup between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Brewster Whitecaps. Hyannis, of course, coming in at 6 and 8, and Brewster at 8 and 6, second place in the Eastern Division, while Hyannis is hovering just above trouble around the bottom of the Western Division.
And now Representative Tim Whalen.
Well, Chris, it's been a rough go these past few days. I know the win against Bourne was certainly a step in the right direction, but yesterday,
Way to go.
it was tough, and I wasn't there for the second half, obviously, but to let up 12 runs in any game is just unacceptable, and you never expect that to happen in a game, and it really can only get better from there. The only good thing is you do score 6, but you can't give up 12 runs to win a game.
Oh, Hyannis will try to keep the offensive momentum going today against Jonathan Stiver, right-hander out of Indiana, getting the ball for the Whitecaps today.
And you know what? I'm excited to see him pitch. I'm excited to see Hyannis take on this team. We haven't played Brewster since really the very early part of the season. And I think this is a good change to come out here. It's a little bit of a ways away. I mean, it's a very windy day, but it's very nice out here. And I think Hyannis needed a little bit of a change of scenery, and hopefully that's what's the best thing for them.
Well, pretty scenic out here in Brewster. It's a very nice field. However, early tee-off time here because there's just no lights above this field, so we have to get going at 5 p.m.
That's
and,
why. I just noticed that.
Yep, and now catching for Stiver today is Mickey Gasper. He's manning behind the plate. Down at first base, Zach Gahagan. Second base, Nick Dunn out of Maryland. Gahagan out of UNC. At third base, Connor Smith out of Western Michigan. Today's shortstop, AJ Graffinino out of Washington. He's a junior. And from left to right in the outfield, it goes Devin Foyle from Kansas, Hunter Bishop from Arizona State, and Darius Hill from West Virginia. And while the big righty gets warmed up, let's take a look at the Hyannis Harbor Hawks batting order. Reese Hampton from Charlotte, the sophomore, leading off. His parents are in attendance tonight. Hunter Stovall from Mississippi State, the junior, the second baseman in the 2 spot. In the 3 spot, the senior, 4 for 5 last night from Minnesota, Micah Coffey. In the 4 spot, cleaning up, Daniel Robinson playing left field. In the 5 spot, first baseman, Ole Miss, the junior, Ryan Olenek. In the 6th spot, Robert Newstrom, the right fielder out of Iowa, going into his junior year. Ford Proctor in the 7th spot, playing shortstop from Rice. He's a junior. In the 8th spot, Don DiCaprio, the catcher from Rice, going into his junior year. And rounding things off is Brendan Donovan from South Alabama. And there's the throwdown. And let's get going here from this beautiful Stony Brook field where the Harbor Hawks are taking on the Brewster Whitecaps in a West versus East division matchup. It's windy out here as papers are blowing around like crazy on our table and all throughout the park here.
My scorebook fell down. It's been a windy day all day, Chris.
Sure has been, and that wind is rustling the jersey on Reese Hampton. The first pitch. Clubbed high in the air. Could be interesting with this wind. Right. And settling under it to make the grab is the center fielder Bishop in right center field, and there's one away.
Well, the wind kind of settled down at the right time for Brewster there, and it was an easy catch.
Wearing number 2 from Mississippi State.
Bringing up Hunter Stovall, the second baseman out of Mississippi State. Stovall stands on the right-hand side of the plate. The righty, Stiver, to the set. Kicks and deals. Called strike, first pitch. Count 0-1 on Stovall, and Stiver's having a good season so far. 2 games, 2.16 ERA, and a 1-0 record in 8 1/3 innings pitched. And Hunter Stovall takes the next pitch, bunts it, but pops it up right back to Stiver. There's 2 away.
Good start for Stiver in this game, getting 2 quick outs. And the Harbor Hawks would have loved to have gotten the first couple of guys on base, but they got to do it the hard way, as they've been used to doing all season.
Already 2 away. The Harbor Hawks not taking an easy route to scoring runs so far. Still 0-0, only the top of the first. And Micah Coffey steps up. The senior from Minnesota takes strike 1. Corner. He's in the left-handed batter's box. Now the righty from Indiana sets, kicks, and fires. Low and away, count 1-1. So we have a Big Ten matchup between pitcher and hitter. Indiana and Minnesota, the 1-1. High and outside, breaking pitch, misses. Count 2-1. And I had the opportunity to talk with Coffey a little bit about that after, because one of his Minnesota, a little bit after last night's game, because one of his Minnesota teammates actually plays for the Katuitt Kettleers as the 2-1 is fouled off. Now 2-2. And they have a lot of Big Ten pride. Reason to have pride is that Micah Coffey believes that that league has some guys who can really swing the bats and play well. It's a very well-represented league in the CCBL, the 2-2. Hit on a line right to short. Looks like it one-hops Graffinino, but they caught out on the fly, and just like that, the Harbor Hawks are down in order. 1, 2, 3. Now we head to the aforementioned Graffinino, Connor Smith, and Mickey Gasper due up when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Hyannis and Brewster knotted at 0. Stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy alongside my broadcast partner, Chris Walker. Hyannis has taken the field, and Brooks Crawford is taking the mound. Right-hander out of Clemson.
Well, Brooks Crawford needs to get, I say this every game, he needs to give this team a much better effort than the pitching has lately. He needs to give innings, and it's something that he struggled at doing in his last start. He really needs to go 4 or 5 strong innings to keep this team in the game, because the bats get going, but it's not until the pitching suffers. And in order for the Harbor Hawks to win today, the pitching's got to be better. That's the only way to put it.
Well, Brooks Crawford will square up A.J. Graffinito to get things started. Catching for him is Dom DiCaprio at first base, Ryan Olenek from Ole Miss, Hunter Stovall from Mississippi State at second base, Micah Coffey from Minnesota at third, Ford Proctor at short, he's from Rice, and from left to right in the outfield, Daniel Robinson, Reese Hampton, and Robert Newstrom. Robinson from Central Michigan, Hampton from Charlotte, and Newstrom from Iowa. Crawford to the set, the righty with a 5.87 ERA on the young CCBL season. First pitch, bouncer in the dirt.
Looked like it hit off of almost the neck of DiCaprio, and he already had to block one. So he's in the game.
Yes, he is. Graffinino has his head in the game as well. 25 at-bats on the season, 8 hits. A strong 320 clip. He stands in the left-handed batter's box, takes strike one. Evens the count. No one out here in the bottom of the first. Hyannis and Brewster just underway. The 1-1. Hit in the air out towards center. Reese Hampton moves towards left and makes the play for out number 1.
Must be nice for Hampton to be back in center field. He's been playing left a lot with Mangum in center field, but Mangum not in the lineup today. And Hampton's been used to playing center this season, so he must be happy.
Happy that he has his family in the crowd as well. Had the chance to speak with his parents earlier today, making the flight up from North Carolina. And now here's Connor Smith, the third baseman out of Western Michigan. Takes strike one, fastball over the inside corner. And the next pitch from Crawford is another bouncer. That one getting away from Dom DiCaprio, but with no one on. No harm, no foul. It's 1-1. Smith batting .263 this season, the 1-1. Sent high in the air over towards the first base line. Ranging in is Olenek from first to make the play, and there's 2 away.
Well, good start for Crawford again. Both pitchers off to good starts, and for him it's going to be important to have a good first inning, because a lot of our pitchers have been having real rough first couple of, like, first or second innings. So it's good to see him get 2 quick outs. He's only thrown 5 pitches.
Saving up his arm. Hopefully he can go a bit longer in this game for the Harbor Hawks, but he's not out of the woods yet with Mickey Gasper at the plate, batting .348 in 23 at-bats. Steps up to the right-handed batter's box and takes strike one over the inside corner. Hyannis and Brewster underway here from Stony Brook Field. Bottom of the first. The 0-1. Low and inside, ball 1. Brewster wearing their red jerseys on Red Jersey Friday. Home team in every ballpark in the Cape on Fridays wears red jerseys to support the troops. White pants completing the ensemble as the 1-1 is cut on and ripped foul. Count 1-2. So Brooks Crawford in his blue away jersey for the Harbor Hawks, orange sleeves, orange lettering, and blue caps with orange bills. White pants completing that ensemble is a strike away from ending the first. The pitch. High and outside. 2-2 count.
You know, you got to wonder how the wind's going to affect the pitching today, and if the curveball is going to break more. It's too bad nobody pitching today has a knuckleball. They could really use it to their advantage today.
It's 2-2. Ball 3, low and inside. Loads the count, and you have to imagine Dom DiCaprio is happy they don't have a knuckleballer.
We'd have to have a bigger glove, and it'd be windy today. This is a good day for Tim Wakefield.
Dom DiCaprio already getting enough of a workout today. The payoff pitch. Slapped foul behind home. We'll do it again. Infielders playing straight away. 2 down here. Full count on Mickey Gasper. the senior out of Bryant. Righty-lefty matchup. The payoff pitch. Hit on the ground up the middle. Hunter Stovall ranges towards second base, throws across his body to Ryan Olenek for out number 3. So a pair of 1-2-3 innings is the first. Daniel Robinson, Ryan Olenek, and Robert Newstrom drew up the 4, 5, 6 heart of the order when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. We're still knotted at 0 from Stony Brook Field. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy alongside my broadcast partner, Chris Walker. Coming to you from Stony Brook Field for a West and Eastern Division matchup between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Brewster Whitecaps. We went double zeros in the first inning, so now to the top of the second we go, and up comes Daniel Robinson. Coming into his junior year at Central Michigan, he's batting .333 on the CCBL season in 42 at-bats. Chris, he's been someone the Harbor Hawks have been able to rely on time and time again for timely hits and just consistency.
He's had a couple more days off than usual. You know, he's been in and out, which is good for him because he needed a rest, but good to see him getting another start today.
He stands in the left-handed batter's box and fouls the first pitch off towards the Harbor Hawks on deck circle.
These guys want to play more than anything. They'll play every day if they're able to, and Robinson's one of those guys this team needs in the lineup every day.
And the pitch is fouled off behind home. Stiver ahead in the count, 0-2, back out for inning number 2. Got a 1-2-3 in the first.
I got to tell you, I love this scoreboard here in Brewster. They have all the batters' names on top of everything, so everybody knows who's hitting.
Now the 0-2. Low and away. The righty misses, and now the count's 1-2. It is a nice field here, albeit there are no lights. So you have to get started pretty early. A 5 o'clock tee off here. The 1-2. High and outside.
Yeah, I noticed that right when you said it in the beginning of the game. And not every stadium does have lights. It's cool to have a kind of late afternoon game, though.
The 2-2. Fisted out towards second base. Ranging over to make the play is done. He forehands it and flips it over to Gahagan at first for out number 1.
Chris, that ball, after it bounced, almost started like the wind was going to affect it. It moved the second baseman Dunn over to his left. It's amazing how strong this wind is today.
Blowing the ball around and blowing us around here, too, down the first base line.
I would imagine, though, if a ball gets hit to left field, it's gone with this wind going straight out that way.
Ryan Olenek up to the plate, and he smokes one out to left field, through for a base hit. He rounds first, going over to second. Fielding it up in the corner is Foyle. He throws in, but Ryan Olenek squares up at second base with a double. Second base with Robert Newstrom coming up.
You know, I love the hustle of Olenek every game. He always turns a single into a double whenever he can. He could have just pulled up if he wanted to and taken a stroll back to first, but he runs so fast to first that he's got plenty of time to stand up at second. That's a great hit.
Great hit, and off to a good start. Batting .286 coming into this game was Olenek, and now here's Newstrom. Batting .293 in 41 at-bats. He stands on the right-hand side with a man on second and ropes one out into right field, through for a base hit. Olenek rounding third base. He's coming towards home. He'll score. The throw comes in from right field, and Robert Newstrom has an RBI single and has the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on top, 1-0 in the top of the second.
How about that? We're able to say the Harbor Hawks are in front. They score the first run of the game. Olenek probably wants his money's worth. He was on second base and off second base, and now he's back in the dugout in a time span of about 45 seconds.
He'll get down the first base side just to catch his breath there. The Harbor Hawks just situated over on the first base side. And now Ford Proctor steps up to the left-handed batter's box. The junior from Rice takes the first pitch, ball low and away. And they call that a strike as it looks like it tipped off of his bat. He did have a little lazy swing, but home plate umpire Jeff Cunney not giving him any leeway as the wind picks up. The 0-1. And Stiver gets strike 2 over the outside corner.
Chris, I love how Olenek and Newstrom got back-to-back hits with 1 out. That's what happens. And because Olenek hustled, got himself in scoring position, that was just a great stroke from Newstrom, and it's 1-0.
And the 0-2 is fouled off. Mickey Gasper takes it on the shoulder behind home, but shakes that off and gets a fresh ball out to Stiver. Ford Proctor batting .200 this season. 40 at-bats, 8 hits. Got off to a slow start, but has since brought himself back. And now the 0-2 from Stiver. The righty squaring up the lefty, deals. A pitch that is clubbed out into the right center field gap. It's deep, and it goes to the wall. Bishop fielding it, and it bounces off of his hand and brings Robert Newstrom to third base. Now he rounds and is coming in. The throw not in time, cut off by the righty Stiver. To score, and standing on second base with an RBI double is Ford Proctor, and now it's 2-0 Harbor Hawks in the top of the second.
Chris, this is so good to see for this team, and you know, it's very important that they get out to a lead and a bigger lead than 1-0 in the beginning of the game. We're so used to seeing them go down and have to play catch-up. It's much easier to play with a lead, and this is a great start.
And now Don DiCaprio looks to add on to it. The junior from Rice looking to continue the hot bats. His teammate from Rice, Ford Proctor, standing on second base. Up 2-0. Stiver deals. Big strike over the inside corner.
And DiCaprio with 4 hits now this season. He's starting to get that average up. He's over 140 now, which is great to see.
Waited a while to get that first hit, but has been rolling since. He stands in the right-handed batter's box. The righty Stiver kicks and fires a pitch that is clubbed out into left field, and it dunks in for a base hit. Fields it out and left. Coming around from third base is Proctor. He scores, and Dom DiCaprio drives in his Rice teammate for the third run of the top of the second inning. Hyannis on top 3-0.
And the hits keep coming. That is 4 hits in a row for the Harbor Hawks. Something we're not quite used to seeing happen, but it's certainly great to get in the second inning and already be up by 3. And Brooks Crawford has got to be thanking every one of his teammates right now for giving him some run support, which his pitching staff has not had.
The Harbor Hawks also just finding the right places with these hits as Brendan Donovan takes strike 1 right over the heart of the plate. Add a little bit of momentum to his season as well, batting only .152 in 33 at-bats. And the next pitch, low and away. Count 1-1. So Stiver comes in with a fastball, curveball, changeup. Looks like he missed with the changeup there. Has a searing fastball, as we've seen already, the 1-1. Low and away, count 2-1. Donovan out of the University of South Alabama.
Just letting everybody know DiCaprio's average is now up to 172. It's getting right back up towards 200 in a hurry.
Creeping towards the Mendoza line, the 2-1. Low and away, ball 3. So Stiver in a bit of a predicament right now. His control escaping him and not escaping the Hyannis Harbor Hawks bats as he's really been hit around.
3 runs on 4 hits. Only the second inning and still only 1 out.
The 3-1. Sent high in the air in the infield. Gahagan comes over from first base, and there's a bit of intrigue with his third baseman who is called off, but they collide as Gahagan makes the play for out number 2.
Oh, it gets nerve-wracking there for all the fans, especially when the wind is blowing the ball around, especially on a pop-up like that. You got to get to first because you never know if the ball's just going to drop. But Stiver gets lucky there.
And so does Smith, as he came in hot. Connor Smith, the third baseman, almost colliding and really causing some damage with Zach Hagen. And the Harbor Hawks have batted around already. Reese Hampton, 0 for 1 today, takes a called strike over the heart of the plate. Count 0 for 1 with 2 outs. Hyannis on top 3-0 here at Stony Brook Park. The 0-1. Low and away, ball 1. Stony Brook Field, the locale, excuse me. Hampton standing in the left-handed batter's box against the righty Stiver. Charlotte product. Goes to the University there, the 1-1. Smacked foul behind home.
Oh, I didn't think there was a net there for a second. Can't even see it with the trees there. But anyways, it's cool to go to the same school you grew up in the same town you grew up in. That's what I did in school. But it keeps you grounded and keeps you at home for a little bit longer. And I'm sure Hampton loves that. I'm sure he loves that his parents are here.
Of course, making the long trek up from North Carolina, the 1-2. Roped down the left field line, but hooks foul. 1-2. And he not only mentioned that he's happy to see his family, but it's also a nice change of pace for him to be out on the Cape. He mentioned that he's grown up in Charlotte his whole life. He goes to the university there. He played summer ball last summer about 2 hours out of Charlotte, so being on the Cape has been a very refreshing change of pace for him. The 1-2. Hit on the ground up the middle. It gets past the ranging Graffinino and into center field. Dom DiCaprio stops up at second base, and Reese Hampton has a hit in front of mom and dad.
I was just going to say, it sounds like me. I've been in the same town my whole life, and now I'm on the Cape, and it's a cool, different change of pace. That's a great hit, though, and they should score that a base hit, and they do. But Hampton stays hot. He's already got a hit in only 2 innings. He's got 2 at-bats already. Gets the hit in front of mom and dad, as you mentioned. That's a good start for this team. I really like the hitting in this inning. 5 hits already.
Looking to add to that, 0 for 1 today. Stands in the right-handed batter's box and sends it high in the air down the right field line. Coming out from first base to make the play is Gahagan, and that ends the top of the second. However, it was productive for the Harbor Hawks. They're able to plate 3 runs on 4 hits and bring this to the bottom of the second. Gahagan, Bishop, and Curry do up the 4, 5, and 6 when we get back. 5 hits for the Harbor Hawks in that inning, plating 3 runs and giving Hyannis a 3-0 lead. Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner, joining me here from Stony Brook Field, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the top of the second and bring out Brooks Crawford to maintain it here in the bottom half.
He needs a shutdown inning here. Not allow a run, and he's got the run support now that he needs to carry him through the rest of his start, so he can kind of relax up there. He can give up a hit here and there and not be worried that that might be it. That might be the loss if he gives up 1 run. And I think that might push him through the next few innings just fine. It's important that he doesn't face too many batters and throw too many pitches, of course, because the pitch count has been really what's hurt the pitching staff.
Well, he had a 1-2-3 in the first, so not too many pitches thrown, and now he squares up Zach Gahagan from UNC. The righty from Clemson deals a strike called over the inside corner. 0-1, Gahagan in 4 at-bats on the young season, batting .250. The 0-1. Low and away, called strike. 0-2 count now on Gahagan, going into his senior year down in Chapel Hill. Now the 0-2. High and outside, the fastball from Crawford, missing again. Count 1-2. Sunny day here in Brewster. We'll need the sun to keep this ball game going. The 1-2. Low and away, count 2-2. We got off to a 5 o'clock start because there are no lights here at Stony Brook Field. Nothing but green grass and a big American flag out in right center, waving in the crazy wind as the 2-2 misses low and away, count 3-2 on the breaking pitch. Crawford mixing in a nice curveball with that ripping fastball. Righty-righty matchup. Here comes the payoff pitch. Low and away, ball 4.
Never good to walk the lead off, man. He had 2 strikes on him, and a good job by Gahagan to battle back in the count and work that walk.
Wearing number 24 from Arizona State.
ACC rivals doing the dance out there, but Gahagan eventually the winner. He stands on first base, and now Hunter Bishop steps up. Pac-12 man out of Arizona State University. Stands in the left-handed batter's box, man on first. 1 man on, nobody out. Hyannis on top, 3-0 in the bottom of the second, and squares around for a bunt. And it's called a strike by Jeff Cundy behind home. Didn't feel the need to check over to James Forsaca down at first.
Yeah, he didn't really pull it back or try to pull it back at all. He knew right away that he was trying to get a bunt down, and he just missed the ball.
Count 0-1 now on Bishop this year, and the 0-1 comes low and inside for ball 1. Count even at a ball and a strike. Whitecaps and Harbor Hawks crossing divisional lines to play here, meeting on Stony Brook Field. Hyannis, however, on top, 3-0 with a man on first. Infield playing straight away. Outfield, likewise. Crawford to the set, but first throws back. Ryan Olenek holding on Gahagan. Crawford to the set. Agrees to something with Dom DiCaprio, and the pitch. Slap foul behind home. We'll do 1-2 right now.
Crawford looks good from the stretch early on. He really doesn't look like he's dropped any velocity like we see with MD Johnson when he goes to the stretch. So that's a good sign early on that he can work very efficiently. Hopefully he can get a strikeout or a ground ball here to really help his cause.
Now Crawford sets up the 1-2. Here goes. Low and inside, count now 2-2. Zach Gahagan dancing off of first base periodically as pitches come in. Bishop on the left-hand side of the plate. Now squares up the 2-2. And he smacks it foul. We'll do the 2-2 again. Blustery day here in Brewster. Tree line just beyond the outfield fence is just constantly moving and being shaken around by the breeze. A stiff wind. Crawford to the set again. The pitch. Hit on the ground over towards Proctor at short. He goes to second for the first out. Stovall throws on to first, and they get Hunter Bishop for the 6-4-3 double play.
Nice turn by Proctor. And then Coffey at second base. Stovall at second base, I should say. That was just very well done, and that was not going to be an easy turn because you got 2 quick runners and both quick, close plays, but they get it done. And Crawford has no one on.
And deals the first pitch ball to Michael Curry, the junior out of Georgia, DHing today. He's batting .286 on the season. The 1-0. Low and inside. That one darting just past his pulled up Brewster Whitecaps socks. They're the classic Brewster Whitecaps colors with the dark blue and as well the teal with white stripes. The 2-0. Towards third, Micah Coffey tries to field it on a hop, but it bounces off of his glove and brings Curry to first base safely with a hit.
They'll probably score that in E5, but we'll see how it gets scored. Either way, it's a 2-out hit and a chance for Nick Dunn here with 2 outs to get something going.
Nick Dunn steps up.
They give it an error.
We're number 39 from the University of Maryland, one of the Terrapins.
Dunn out of Maryland, the junior. His teammate Michael Curry on first base on an E5. He dances off as the first pitch comes in for strike one. Righty-lefty matchup at the plate. Crawford, the righty from Clemson, the beneficiary of a 6-4-3 double play earlier on, which got him to 2 outs after a leadoff walk. But now there's a man on first on the E5 and the pitch. Low and inside, count 1-1. The wind just ripping up dirt here, Brewster.
Good thing we're on this side of the field.
That's true. We're down the first base line, the 1-1. High and tight, count 2-1. Just tornadoes of dirt swirling around the infield already as we're not even through 2 innings, and Hyannis already on top 3-0, but the elements playing a role. I have to wonder if Micah Coffey might have had a little bit of a distraction going as he booted that ball, as the 2-1 is a strike on the inside corner. Hyannis on top 3-0, and now Brooks Crawford a strike away from bringing Hyannis back to bat in the top of the third. The 2-2. Misses low and inside, and the righty loads up the count on the lefty.
It's a big pitch. You don't want to, again, you don't want to waste that pitch count. You want to make the most of your opportunity to get outs and get out of innings.
And now Crawford squares up the payoff pitch. Runner on first, 2 down. Here comes 4 in the dirt. And just like that, Hyannis, they looked like they were out of the woods with that double play, but Crawford puts 2 men on right after, and here comes trouble.
And 2 walks in this inning. Shows a lack of command right now. He's had a tougher inning.
The walk brings Curry over to second base and brings up Devin Foyle, left fielder going into his junior year at Kansas, stands in the left-handed batter's box. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Crawford throws ball 1 in the dirt. Foyle with 12 at-bats on the season, batting under 100. He stands at .083. Crawford to the set. 2 down, 2 men on. The pitch. Low and inside, ball 2. Crawford still up there with the velocity, but just lagging the control a little bit right now. He's put men on first and second after the E5 from Micah Coffey. The 2-0. Serve foul down the left field line. Brings the count to 2-1. Foyle playing his ball down in the Big 12 conference with the Jayhawks. Off to an inauspicious start at the plate, but can turn that and this game around with a hit if he can get one. The 3-0. Clubbed high in the air towards the left field line. Daniel Robinson comes over and makes the play for out number 3. So Brooks Crawford works his way into trouble, but is able to squeeze his way out of it on the F7 from Foyle. A leadoff walk is wasted in the 6-4-3 double play, and 2 men are left on base after another walk and an E5, but now we'll go into the and we'll have some special guests on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around for that. It's going to be a treat.
Want to take some pictures? Because our statistician. No, I'm just kidding. I won't. I won't throw anyone under the bus.
Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy alongside Chris Walker and a special guest. It's Hyannis Harbor Hawks reliever Davis Vayner stepping into the broadcast booth. How you doing? Great to have you here as well, Davis. And now Micah Coffey steps up to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch misses low and away. Count 1-0.
What's it like to be on this side of the game?
It's a whole lot different. Definitely.
I'll tell you what. Put the mic closer to your mouth.
Yeah, it's a rookie mistake. Like I said, it's completely different. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking for sure.
Micah Coffey just sends the next pitch high in the air, and it's caught by Smith for out number 1 down at third base. 1 away here in the top of the third. Of course, it's just a little unnatural making conversation with a phone in front of your face.
No, yeah, it is a little bit unnatural, but I'm a talker, and I don't know, I'm enjoying this.
I-
It's pretty fun.
I can't imagine that this is any more nerve-wracking than pitching in a big game at school.
Oh, you're so wrong. You are so wrong.
Daniel Robinson steps up 0 for 1 on the day. He takes a first pitch ball standing in the left-handed batter's box. Never back out for another inning. And Robinson sends one high down the left field line. Coming over to make the grab is Foyle, and he does for out number 2.
Daniel's been huge for us as of late. I mean, he's really swinging it well. I mean, 0 for 2 on the day, but he's really seeing the ball well.
He's been one of the guys we've been watching, Davis, and I mean, all season he's just gotten good hits for you guys at the right time.
Yeah, it seems like whenever we need a hit, he comes up big. So.
Ryan Olenek. He just seems like on the outside as like a character guy. Is that true?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. He's definitely a character. He's one of my favorites on the team. I mean, I love everybody, but yeah, Olenek, he's a fun one to hang around. He's funny. He's always talking, always goofing around.
Took a first pitch strike and now takes a second pitch ball. And I mean, you've gotten to know Ryan a little bit just playing down in the SEC.
Yeah, I have. And Ryan, he's a tough out.
And the 1-1 is smoked up the left field line and through for his second hit of the day. That one rolls all the way to the wall. Olenek around first. He stops up at second. That's his second double of the day. And there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, wow. That's 2 doubles on the day for Ryan. And, you know, you've seen him hit some doubles earlier in the year. And they should be singles, and he stretches them out. He's
that's what we've been talking about all season. Now, what's the deal with the mustache? What's the story behind the mustache?
I don't know what's up with the mustache. I think it's the rally mustache. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then he decided to grow it out, and he got some Just for Men, and he put some jet black. So since then,
it makes it look a little more full. And Robert Newstrom steps up, had an RBI single in the first. That scored Olenek for the first of 3 runs for the Harbor Hawks, who are on top 3-0. And first pitch is a swinging strike 1. I've heard that Olenek kind of messes around with the mustache a little bit because he thinks it stimulates the follicles and makes it grow more. What do you say to that?
Oh, I have no idea. I guess he does. I mean, it looks good. What do you guys think?
I like it. It's a good look. It's different.
It's different, yeah. It's kind of throwback-ish.
Yeah.
Well, way throwback to like the 20s when baseball was invented.
See, this isn't so hard, is it?
No. I think Connor's laughing because I said the
Yeah.
baseball was invented in the 20s. I don't think it was.
Robert Newstrom in an 0-2 hole at the left-hand side. The next pitch sent high in the air and deep down the right field line. It chases Hill back to the wall. He's making all the way over there, and he snares the ball on the track for out number 3.
Wow, you just got to tip your cap there. That's a good hit and even better catch.
It sure is. Davis, we tip our caps to you out here in the broadcast booth. Stepping out, trying something new. Thank you so much for joining us this inning.
Heck of a job, though.
Davis Vayner out here in the broadcast booth. Hyannis on top here on Stony Brook Field, leading 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be right back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy standing down here on the first base side. Hyannis standing on top of this one, 3-0, a Western and Eastern Division matchup between the Harbor Hawks and the Brewster Whitecaps. Coming to you live from Stony Brook Field. Darius Hill leading things off to get things going in the bottom of the 3rd.
Right fielder, Darius Hill.
From West Virginia, he stands on the left-hand side, and the first pitch. A ball low and away. Count 1-0. Brooks Crawford stands on the mound again. Out for inning number 3. He's thrown a pair of donuts on the scoreboard as the next one is cut on and lifted foul behind home. 1-1 count. Micah Coffey standing just in front of the lip of the infield grass at third base. Middle infielder is almost on the outfield grass, the 1-1. Low and away, ball 2, and Ryan Olenek just standing straight away at first base. Outfield shaded slightly over towards the right field line. And the 2-1 is high in sight for ball 3. 3-1 count. Darius Hill. And the pitch. Skied high in the air down the left field line. Micah Coffey ranging over from third base to try and get it, but a young fan steps out in the way and just obstructs him a little bit on his way to the ball. Count now loaded, 3-2. Darius Hill batting 100 on the season, only 10 at-bats in. Chris Walker joining me once again in the booth. Howdy, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Now the 3-2 from Crawford. Hit on the ground over on the right side. Hunter Stovall gets it on the one hop, flips over to first. There's one away.
Parents, please do keep your kids behind the orange line, the other side of our home dugout. For safety.
There's the voice of Jim Novak, just trying to keep kids safe and out of the field of play as one kind of came into the fray as Micah Coffey made a run over down the left field line to try and snare a baseball. And now AJ Graffinino stepping up, son of former major leaguer Tony Graffinino. He's on the left-hand side, and the righty Crawford deals high and away.
He's off to a good start this year, too, over 350. 16 hits.
Chip off the old block. His dad was a major leaguer for upwards of 10 years, and the 1-0 is a strike, so now it's 1-1. Crawford to the set again. Wind blustering the trees out in the outfield territory, the 1-1. Slipped foul behind home. Puts the fastballer ahead in the count, 1-2. Very homey atmosphere down on Stony Brook Field. We're amongst our people. The fans are around, and a couple fans close to your heart are behind us, Chris, as the 1-2 rides in
Yes.
high for ball 2.
I got everybody behind me or next to me.
The whole family.
My brother, that's him. He's right here.
The 2-2. Set high in the air towards right field. Robert Newstrom ranges in and fights off the wind to record out number 2.
You know, I haven't even asked him yet, or my brother yet, how he likes Cape Cod. None of us have ever been out here before this summer, so it's cool for everybody.
Yeah, I love that. I'd never been out here before the summer got underway either. So a new experience for everybody, and here comes Connor Smith, 0 for 1 on the day, out of Western Michigan. Stands at the right-hand side of the plate. The first pitch. Breaking ball for a strike.
It's too bad we're not in Wareham because my brother has an Ocean State Waves hat on where Nick Angelini played last year. He would have liked that.
And the 0-1 is forced out into center field. One hops Reese Hampton out there, and it's a base hit. So with 2 down, the Whitecaps are able to get 1 aboard. However, still trailing the Harbor Hawks 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. And here comes Mickey Gasper.
That was their first hit for Brewster, so that's certainly not a bad thing for Crawford that he didn't allow a hit in 2 2/3. He certainly kept his pitch count low.
Yeah, no strikeouts over that time period either, so getting outs by contact. He throws on down to first. In safely, the only hit on the day for the Whitecaps, which is interesting as they've scored 25 runs in their last 5 games. The first pitch to Gasper. High and outside. Crawford just misses the zone. Count 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first base, 2 down. Ryan Olenek holding on the runner. The 1-0. Runner goes. One hops Dom DiCaprio behind the plate, and that's a stolen base for Connor Smith.
I don't know whether or not it's just fate, but a lot of times when people steal on DiCaprio, he just bobbles the ball. Or they just pick good pitches where the ball goes in the dirt and he can't hold on to him.
Well, Brooks Crawford will have to hold on Smith as he takes a lead off of second base. Hunter Stovall shaded over towards right field line now. Ford Proctor holding him on. Proctor, the shortstop, the man holding him on just because there's a lefty at the plate. Makes things a little bit easier for DiCaprio to see behind the dish. So Crawford sets up the 2-0 on Gasper. Here it comes. And it's roped out into right field, and one hops Robert Newstrom. Coming around to score is Smith. And the second hit of the day for these Brewster Whitecaps puts their first run across the board. It's now 3-1 Hyannis in the bottom of the 3rd.
Now they're starting to get it going with their second hit in a row, and that's what they need to do. Brewster down by 3, chipping away at the lead. Good hit.
Number 35, a returning veteran.
Nice piece of hitting on an absolutely ferocious fastball from Crawford. He really can force it across the plate and brings up Zach Gehagen, who's recorded a plate appearance today, but not an official at bat. He walked in the 2nd. Ups up with a runner on first, and the pitch. Low and outside. 1-0 count. Again, another ACC matchup. Crawford out of Clemson and Gehagen out of North Carolina. Now the Tiger comes to the set on the mound and deals. Low and inside. 2-0 count. Brewster 3-2 in their last 5 games, just trying to keep the momentum going as they battle for first place in the Eastern Division. The 2-0. Called strike outside corner. Crawford spotting up the fastball, brings the count to 2-1.
Hyannis trying to stay out of the cellar in the West. They need a win today, big time.
They lead Wareham by 1 to just stay out of that dreaded 5th spot, and the 2-1 is just a bit outside for ball 3. Sitting at top, the Western Division are the Bourne Braves. They're at 9-6. Katuitt at 8-7. Falmouth 8-7, and Hyannis sits at 6-8. The 3-1. Low and away, ball 4. So Crawford in a spot of trouble again. He put 2 on with 2 outs in the second, and now there's 2 on with 2 out here in the third.
Well, Bishop is the guy you want up if you're Crawford. He grounded into a double play last at bat. But he is the go-ahead run, and just like that, the Harbor Hawks are in danger.
And that draws a mound visit from pitching coach Ray Korn, out for a word with his right-hander.
Hey folks, while we have this break in the
So Hyannis is on top 3-1 right now, trying to defend a precious lead over the Brewster Whitecaps and just regain some momentum after a deflating 12-6 loss to the Katuitt Kettleers last night.
Well, it seems like every time this team takes a step forward, they take 2 steps backwards, because you think after the 5-3 win against Bourne, who's in first, you're going to turn it around again, and then you lose, you give up 12. And so you never really know with this team, and they really just can't get back to 500 anymore. They've had a really hard time in the past 6 or 7 games getting back to 500.
And it really has been a matter of this or that with the Harbor Hawks so far this year, as on fire and the pitching struggles. And the other day, you reverse that, and it's got to be an absolutely baffling case for Chad Gassman as he tries to get the most out of this team, but can't seem to get the most out of both sides.
Right, they can't get both sides to work at the same time. They play high-scoring games where they'll win, or they'll only score 1 and give up a ton of runs, it seems like.
Ray Korn exits the field now. Hunter Bishop still waiting on that first pitch. Runners on first and second. Crawford deals inside. The righty on the mound behind the lefty at the plate, 1-0. Sun's still high in the sky here at Stony Brook Field. Harbor Hawks and Whitecaps will need that as there's no lights in Brewster. The 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Crawford with a statement-making fastball.
His fastballs look pretty good tonight. I wonder what Connor Green has got it on the gun as. Probably mid-90s, low to mid-90s.
Connor Green, the man with the gun tonight. The 1-1. Hit on the ground over towards the right side. Hunter Stovall dives, and he can't get there. It goes out into the outfield. Coming around to score is Mickey Gasper. Here's the throw in, not in time. He slides in safely. Moving over to third is Gahagan. And standing on first with an RBI single is Hunter Bishop. He brings the Whitecaps to within a run. It's 3-2 Hyannis in the bottom of the third.
Not the inning that Crawford wanted or the Harbor Hawks wanted at all. They kind of wanted, they would probably like to have kept this at 3-0 or 3-1 as long as they could, but it's a 1-run game again, and the third.
And Michael Curry stands up at home plate. A go-ahead run standing on first. Runners on the corners. Crawford tries to throw a curveball, but just can't get any break on it. It's high and inside for ball 1. Crawford getting off to a hot start, but sputtering here in the bottom of the third. 1-0. In on the hands and fists it out into left field, through for a base hit. Gahagan comes in to score, and the RBI single from Curry ties the game at 3 runs apiece in the bottom of the third.
Well, we've seen this before the other way around where Hyannis battles back and ties the game after going down, but, well, it's not what you want to see if you're Chad Gaspin. You want to take a lead into the 6th or 7th inning and try to, build on it, but now the important thing for Crawford is that he holds it here.
He'll try to hold down Nick Dunn to do that. First pitch from the righty is a called strike over the heart of the plate. The lefty Dunn standing in.
But you got to give a lot of credit to Brewster. They have 4 base hits this inning, so with 4 hits in an inning, you're going to score some runs.
Runners on first and second. The 0-1 in the dirt. Ball 1. Bishop advancing over to second base on the RBI go ahead or tying single by Michael Curry.
And that's what happens when everybody hits. Runs just come very easily. And with 2 outs, this whole thing started.
Nick Dunn with a walk on the day. The 1-1 flipped foul behind the stands down the third base line, out of play. So Crawford again within a strike of ending this inning. It's been a long one for the Harbor Hawks. They've given up a 3-run lead. It's now 3-3 down here at Stony Brook Field. Crawford to the set. He kicks and fires. Pitch that's in on the hands and right down to Micah Coffey, who steps on third base for the force out and ends the inning. So 4 hits and a walk are what kills Brooks Crawford here on Stony Brook Field and kills the Harbor Hawks 3-0 lead. It's now 3-3 going into the top of the fourth. Ford Proctor, Dom DiCaprio, and Brandon Donovan due up when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. So stick around. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner. I'm Chris Lucy, and Ford Proctor stepping up the left-hand side of the plate to try and reclaim the lead for the Harbor Hawks. They gave it away coming into the bottom of the third, up 3-0. Caps later, and we're tied up in the top of the fourth.
Nothing's going to come easily, as we know this season.
Jonathan Stiver back out for another inning of work. Heel deals low and away. Count 1-0. Proctor 1 for 1 with a double. And it's a called strike over the inside corner. Fastball from Stiver, spotting up well. 1-1. And the pitch is served foul down the left field line.
Well, I'll tell you, nobody's happier than Stiver right now. Thought he was going to have to pitch from behind. Now he's got a tie game. He's got some hope left for him.
No longer in line for the loss either. The 1-2. Smoked out to center field and deep. This one chases Bishop to the wall. He leaps and it one-hops the wall on the track, and Ford Proctor cruises into second base with a stand-up double.
It looked like Bishop kind of misjudged that ball, and it ended up kind of just falling next to him, and they call it a hit. But that it certainly looked like Bishop was under it.
What a way to lead off the fourth inning, and now Dom DiCaprio, his Rice teammate, looking to follow him up.
How about 2 doubles so far? 2 for 2 for Proctor.
One of 2 guys with 2 doubles. Ryan Olenek also on that kind of a day. The first pitch to DiCaprio's in the dirt. The righty Stiver behind 1-0 against the righty DiCaprio, who's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. He forces across the 3rd run of the game for the Harbor Hawks. Now he's up trying to get run number 4, at least a little bit closer.
Proctor's average up to 238 now.
And the 1-0 bounces in the left-handed batter's box. Count 2-0.
And 238 is certainly not bad considering where Proctor was earlier.
Well, hey, he was able to follow suit in the second inning, DiCaprio. Let's see if he can follow suit in the average column as well, trying to climb his way above the Mendoza line. And now DiCaprio steps out.
It'd be nice to get everybody above that. And these are two guys in Proctor and DiCaprio who belong over the 300 mark.
The 2-0. Swing and a miss. They both lived out there well above the 300 mark at Rice this season.
DiCaprio was closer to 400 than 300. He hit 366.
A scorching season. So Graffinino holds on Proctor at second. Graffinino, the shortstop. Both middle infielders playing close up the middle. Sent high in the air, foul just down the first base line.
We were talking about averages. If DiCaprio gets a hit here, he's at 200, 6 for 30.
Well, there we go.
I mean, and that would be 6 hits in his last 9 at-bats after going over his first 21.
A hit might put him to 200 and also score Proctor from second. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off.
Imagine that, 6 for your last 9.
He's been hot. You know, he heard the whispers, i.e. us. Maybe not so much whispering as we're pretty close to the field right now, so ball players can hear us. We're just down the first base line. The 2-2. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Great pitch from Stiver. You really have to just tip your cap at that as there's one away.
Yeah, just a nice spot and nothing really DiCaprio could do. He probably was looking for a breaking pitch, but that's a good fastball. He spotted it well.
University of South Alabama, the DH.
Brendan Donovan at the plate now, 0 for 1 so far today. Steps up to the left side with Ford Proctor taking a 2-step lead off of second. The pitch from Stiver, fouled back.
You know, now that I've got fans behind me that belong with me, they should start looking for foul balls and then give me the foul ball because I've been looking for one all season.
Well, you got your little brother right behind you. Can't you boss him around?
Tell him. He bosses me around. That's how it works.
All right, I don't know about that. The 0-2 now on Donovan as he swung and missed at the 0-1. Stiver to the set. He deals. Hit on a rope up the middle, through for a base hit. Ford Proctor taking off from second base. He comes around third. He's going to score, and that's an RBI single for Brendan Donovan trying to get his bat in motion this year. And Hyannis back on top, 4-3 in the top of the fourth.
And that must feel really good for Donovan. And we mentioned before the game he'd been struggling, just 5 of 33. That's 152, and now he's got the go-ahead hit. Must make him feel great at first base.
Now Reese Hampton steps up, 1 for 2 today. Mom and dad in attendance. Watching him hit from the left-hand side, and a jersey we're not too accustomed to seeing him wear as the 0-2 is chopped on the ground over towards second. Dunn looks back towards second base, decides to go to first for out number 1. Number 2.
Well, I know number 22 is not something we're used to Hampton wearing, and well, he's still 1 for 3 today, so the number doesn't make it a bad luck at least.
Nope. Hampton usually opting for number 13, and now Hunter Stovall in his number 2 jersey steps up to the right-hand side of the plate. Runner on second. First pitch in the dirt. Count 1-0. So the wind's still fierce out here, waving a huge American flag out in right center field like crazy.
Makes it look like it's not that big out there.
The 1-0. That hit high in the air towards the middle infield, out into shallow center field. Bishop comes on, calls everybody off, makes the play, fighting the wind. 4 out number 3. So Hyannis able to take the lead back on a pair of hits, a double from Ford Proctor, and then the RBI single from Brendan Donovan. The fly out from Hunter Stovall, however, sends us into the bottom of the fourth. Devin Foyle, Darius Hill, and AJ Graffinino do up the bottom and top of the Whitecaps lineup when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Stick around. The Harbor Hawks just took back a 4-3 lead. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Alongside my broadcast partner, I'm Chris Walker. I'm Chris Lucy. Hyannis back on top 4-3 as now we head into the bottom of the fourth.
Wearing number 27 from Kansas, left fielder, Devin Foyle.
Devin Foyle steps into the batter's box, takes a first pitch for a called strike. Brooks Crawford back out again after a shaky bottom of the third. And the next pitch is a called strike. Count 0-2, although the scoreboard reads 1-1. The 0-2. Hit on ground up the middle. That one kicks off the pitcher's mound and goes into center field for a base hit.
You know, Chris, I hate to say it, but this is usually when the pitchers for the Harbor Hawks run out of gas, and it looks like Chad Gassman is coming out to either talk or change pitchers. And I don't know what it is. They change pitches. I don't know what it is about the fourth inning, but the fourth inning is the end of the line for every pitcher now, it seems.
Chad Gassman gestures for the ball, and he gets it. In comes another pitcher for the Harbor Hawks. We'll have more numbers on him when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. So stick around. Hyannis back on top 4-3, but a new arm coming into the game. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. After 3+ innings from Brooks Crawford of 3-run baseball, 5 hits, 3 walks, and no strikeouts, we welcome a new arm into the game. It's Chase Haney.
Well, he's the tall righty out of Florida State. No ERA, which is good, and 2 in the third innings, 2 strikeouts. He got the win on Wednesday against Bourne.
Now he squares up Darius Hill, the junior from West Virginia. And the Florida State product throws a first pitch strike. Count 0-1. Runner on first base is not Haney's responsibility. That was on the bill of Brooks Crawford.
You know, they're going to need a lot of innings out of Haney tonight because their starting pitcher couldn't get the job done again.
That's true, but Hyannis, however, throwing out a rested Chase Haney on 2 days rest. The sidewinder deals another pitch that is fouled off for strike 2. That one dribbling behind home plate as a Whitecaps ball boy comes out to get it.
You know, now we can't tell who's in the bullpen, whether it's him or Sandlin now, because they're both sidewinders. Now it's not so obvious.
It is a little bit tough. Sandlin not quite as big as Haney, though. The 0-2. Hit on a line out to left field. Daniel Robinson ranges over, but he can't get there. It one hops him. Standing on first base with a single is Hill, and Devin Foyle moves up to second base. Now there are 2 aboard with nobody out, and the top of the order due up for the Whitecaps, trying to get their way back into a tie or a lead here at Stony Brook Field.
Well, These players must have forgot there's no lights here because it's going to be dark before the game's over.
Getting late early out here, as the great Yogi Berra once said. Graffinino 0 for 2 today. Steps up with runners on first and second. Takes a first pitch ball low and inside. Righty-lefty matchup. Ford Proctor holding on the runner at second. So here's the 1-0. And it's dinked out into right field through for a base hit. Everyone advances station to station off a nice play from Newstrom out there. And now it's bases loaded, nobody out, and Connor Smith up to the plate, who's 1 for 2 today.
This is as tough a spot as you're going to get if you're Haney, and he kind of created this for himself. The only runner that isn't his is Foyle. He's got his work cut out for him here. He'd really love a ground ball.
He'll need to find one against the sophomore out of Western Michigan. Harborough already turned a double play today. That one coming in the bottom half of the second. See if they can get another. First pitch, low and away, called ball 1.
View of the strike zone from where we're sitting, so we could see if the calls are good. That was a good call. That was a low pitch.
Now the 1-0. That one hit on the ground. Back at Haney. Haney goes to home plate for out number 1, and then DiCaprio throws on to first base for out number 2. Get that, a 1-2-3 double play.
Well, Smith isn't going to be happy with himself. That's it's a very unproductive at bat. But still second and third with 2 outs, so a chance for Gasper to do something. He's already got a hit today.
Line number 9.
Gasper 1 for 2. That hit drove in a run. And a run is what separates his Whitecaps from the Harbor Hawks down here at Stony Brook Field. Hyannis on top 4-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Not out of the woods yet, as now there's just runners on second and third. However, a big boost on that 1-2-3 double play. He deals the first pitch ball low and away. 1-0 count on Gasper.
Chris, we're only in the 4th inning, and there's 15 hits combined in this game.
Getting interesting out here. The 1-0. Called strike on the inside corner. And Chris, it has been an interesting season for the Whitecaps. They had a game earlier this year where they won 11-1 and were actually out-hit by the other team.
That's crazy.
Now the 1-1 from Haney. The sidewinder just floats it in a little bit too high. Fastball misses. Count 2-1. So Mickey Gasper stands at the plate. Named first team all-region in the Northeast this year by ABCA. And the 2-1 is a called strike. 2-2 count now, and Chase Haney is a strike away from getting himself out of a big jam. He already alleviated a bases loaded issue, and now they're just runners on second and third. Hyannis defending a 1-run lead. The pitch. Hit on a line right to Ford Proctor at short. He ranges up the middle to make the play and end the threat in the bottom of the 4th. So on 3 hits and a big double play, Hyannis is able to silence the Brewster Whitecaps and bring this game into the top of the 5th. Micah Coffey, Daniel Robinson, and Ryan Olenek, the 3, 4, and 5, heart of the order when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy coming to you live from Stony Brook Field, where Hyannis still leads 4-3 against the Brewster Whitecaps. It got a little bit dicey in the bottom of the fourth, but a big 1-2-3 double play ended the threat, and now Micah Coffey steps up to the left-handed batter's box against Jonathan Stiver, back out for another inning, and he skies one high down the right field line and deep. And that one gets out over the fence in right field and leaves the ballpark for a home run. Micah Coffey touches them all, and Hyannis jumps out 5-3 ahead of the Brewster Whitecaps here in the top of the fifth. Walker, my broadcast partner, joining me once again in the broadcast booth. Chris, did you just see that?
Well, now I'll talk. I had a good view of that one. That was just a great swing. Great swing by Coffey, and he gets his first.
First homer of the season for Coffey, and now Daniel Robinson in the left-handed batter's box, already in a 0-1 hole. Swings and misses at the 0-1 from Stiver, and it's 0-2. And you have to imagine Coffey's been waiting on that one for a while, as he went 4 for 5 last night. The hot streak just continuing. The 0-2. Low and away.
Well, it was good for Hyannis to get an insurance run, being only up by 1. Now already 9 hits.
The 1-2. Another one roped down the right field line. It's deep. It could be trouble as well. And that's over the right field fence for back-to-back Harbor Hawk home runs, pushing Hyannis up top 6-3 in the top of the fifth.
Wow. Didn't expect to see back-to-back shots like that. And another insurance run and 10 hits for this team. They came ready today.
Hyannis coming out firing in the top of the fifth. Back-to-back home runs before a single out is recorded. And now here comes a new arm for the Brewster Whitecaps. Out comes the manager, Jamie Shivchek. And we'll have a new pitcher on the mound for the Whitecaps when we return. And also the final line on the big right-hander, Jonathan Stiver, when we get back. Hyannis on top 6-3 from Stony Brook Field. Don't go anywhere. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker joining me, Chris Lucy in the broadcast booth, and Jonathan Stiver originally out to start things here in the fifth, but back-to-back home runs have chased him from this game. And Chris, you have the final line on Stiver.
Well, they went 4+, gave up 10 hits and 6 runs, all earned. 1 strikeout and nobody walked. The only strikeout was Dom DiCaprio, but 6 runs in just 4+, that's rough. And 2 home runs.
The last of those 10 hits, both the home runs, leaves a bases clear situation for Ryan Avadano coming into the game to square up Ryan Olenek. A fresh slate for the Whitecaps as they try to regroup. Down 6-3 to the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the fifth. Avadano going into his senior year at the University of Georgia, about 6'7", 230 pounds. 3 appearances so far on the Cape season. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, and an ERA of around 4. The lefty squares up the righty at the plate, throws strike 1.
Well, Stiver just ran out of gas. That's what happens in this league. Pitchers can't go that long after their full college season. He just ran out of gas.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Off to a roaring start as the Harbor Hawks got off to a roaring start of their own here in the top of the 5th. Back-to-back solo home runs. Avedano steps off the mound as a little mishap with the music throws off his concentration. However, he's in a rhythm on top 0-2 of Ryan Olenek. Pitch. Hit on the ground over towards first. Gahagan handles it himself, sprints over to the bag and touches it a step ahead of Ryan Olenek for out number 1.
It's a good play, and after the music thing happened, that was a good job by Avedano to settle back down and get the first out.
We're number 30 from Iowa, right fielder Robert Newstrom.
So now here comes Robert Newstrom. Iowa is 1 for 2 today, the only player on the Harbor Hawks with multiple home runs on the season. So you imagine what the Whitecaps are thinking as the 0-1, as the first pitch rides in high and tight for ball 1. Infield playing deep on Newstrom, outfield likewise.
Newstrom already has an RBI single tonight, so he's had a good day.
The 1-0. Called strike over the outside corner. Count 1-1. 10 hits already on the day for the Harbor Hawks. It's been a high-scoring game. The 1-1. Check swing. Did he go? They check down the third base line. And Billy McCollum says he held up. 2-1 count now on Newstrom. The 2-1. Swing and a miss on a nasty breaking pitch from the senior out of Georgia.
Newstrom wanted a fastball. He was looking for the fastball. He was way out in front of it.
He was looking for another home run. Would be the 3rd of his season and would have been the 3rd of this inning. Here's the 2-2. That one hit on the ground over towards first base again, past a diving Dunn into right field for a base hit. So Robert Newstrom advances to 2 for 3 on the day and brings up Ford Proctor.
Proctor, not the guy you want to face if you're Brewster right now. 2 doubles already and 2 runs scored. These two have been getting, and Olenek, except Olenek got out. Those 3 have been getting it done all day.
Well, Robert Newstrom sets the table for Proctor, and he steps up to the left-handed batter's box. Hyannis on top 6-3 after starting the top of the 5th with back-to-back home runs from Micah Coffey and Daniel Robinson. And Proctor hits it on the ground up the right side gap again, through for another base hit. Chuck him up to 3 for 3 on the day. Robert Newstrom stops up at second, and they're 2 on with 1 out. And Dom DiCaprio coming up.
Once again, everybody hits, and 4 hits in this inning already for Hyannis. It's another good inning.
Wearing number 9 from right.
DiCaprio's 1 for 2. He
Dominic.
had an RBI single in the second and also struck out in the 4th. Stepping up to the right-hand side of the plate. Sun still pouring over the field here in Brewster. The Whitecaps and Harbor Hawks both needed as no lights are over the field here at Stony Brook Field.
Wait till I tell you what Proctor's average is.
First, the first pitch. Called strike.
It's 256.
Wow. He's come a long way since starting the season on that long offer he had. Avedano to the set. The 0-1. Hit on the ground up the middle. That one is gloved up by Dunn, and the throw moves him off of first base, it looks like.
That was the right call. They didn't tag him.
However, able to get the runner at second are the Whitecaps, and Hyannis now with 2 away. Dom DiCaprio standing on first base as a result of the fielder's choice. And here's Brendan Donovan. Designated hitter out of South Alabama, 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single in the 4th. comes to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 down. Hyannis on top 6-3. And the next pitch is lined right to first base. Heads up play from Gahagan, who steps on first for good measure. However, he snared it on the line to end the inning. So Hyannis is able to put 2 runs on the board on a quartet of hits, but the only hits that actually brought in runs were a pair of solo homers from Micah Coffey and Daniel Robinson that put the Harbor Hawks up 6-3 as now we head to the bottom of the 5th. Zach Gahagan, Hunter Bishop, and Michael Curry due up when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy getting ready for the bottom of the 5th. Hyannis up 6-3. And Chase Haney back out for his 2nd inning. Well, he came on after the leadoff man reached last inning and didn't allow a run. He did get into a pretty big jam, but got a double play with the bases loaded and nobody out. And Zach Gahagan will lead it off for Brewster. Haney trying to hold it right here with a 3-run lead. First pitch is low and in, 1-0. Very cool to see the Harbor Hawks score 6 in just 5 innings, something we're not used to. 12 hits is a good sign. Pitch is grounded towards short. Proctor's got it. He should be in time. He throws low, but gets Gahagan. There's 1 out.
So Haney had an interesting bottom of the 4th as he let the first 3 runners on base, but then had that 1-2-3 double play, which was not one you see every day where the pitcher goes home and then the catcher throws down to first, but a smart play from him, just making sure he snares that lead runner and maintained, at that time, a 1-run lead for the Harbor Hawks.
Brings up Hunter Bishop. He's 1 for 2. He takes called strike 1. He singled back in the 3rd. He grounded into a double play in the 2nd.
Also good on Haney in that he's fresh off the College World Series and dealing for the Harbor Hawks. Had a solid outing against Bourne as well, went 2 1/3.
0-1 is swung on and missed. It's quickly 0-2. That's a good breaking ball. So it's 1 out and nobody on in an 0-2 count. Haney trying to get through another inning here. That would be huge for the Harbor Hawks. Here's the 0-2, and it's outside for a ball, and it's 1-2. Thank you, everybody that tuned in today on this Friday afternoon, and my family for being here behind me. Here's a 1-2 grounded towards second. Stovall's got it. He throws in time, and there are 2 away.
This game not the only one going on a Friday afternoon. Wareham down at Katuitt right now on top 6-0 in the top of the 4th. Yarmouth Dennis playing at home against Bourne on top 2-1 in the top of the 4th. And Falmouth and Chatham getting underway at Veterans Field at 7. And Orleans and Harwich down in Orleans getting underway at 7 as well.
You haven't been there yet to Orleans. That should be fun. The first pitch to Curry is a called strike 1. I'll tell you what. I know somebody that that has a very similar arm motion to Haney. He's sitting right behind me is my brother. He should be taking notes. This is how you throw a sidearm once you make it to college ball.
Another thing to do if you throw a sidearm, be 6'6" and 225 pounds. Are you taking notes?
It's called strike two. It's 0-2. Curry is over. Is 1 for 2. He reached on an error and singled in the third. I don't think 6'6" is in the cards for my brother, but he's still a good pitcher.
225 is doable. Have a little extra dessert tonight. You're good.
This is a broken back ground ball, softly hit towards third. Coffey's got it, throws in time. It's a 1-2-3, bottom of the fifth for the Harbor Hawks and Haney, and they still lead 6-3 after 5. We'll go to the sixth. Hyannis over Brewster. We'll take a break on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. It's 6-3 Hyannis, and they'll have the top of the order coming up against Avadano. Brian Avadano back out for his second inning.
Here we go, top of the batting
He
order
did
for the Hyannis Harbor
make
Hawks.
all 3 outs of the
Ring number
fifth
22.
after Stiver gave up 2 home runs and then was removed. So he has pitched 1 full inning. And here's Reese Hampton. He's 1 for 3 to start his day, hitting leadoff. Jake Mangum not playing today. Here's the first pitch. It's in, looked low, but it's a called strike 1.
Yeah, Mangum just taking a foul ball off the toe yesterday, was able to play after, but sitting out just for a rest.
0-1. He has a called strike 2 at the knees, and good start for Avadano in the inning. So Avadano, he steps off. But 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth for Hyannis. And they have 6 runs on 12 hits. Here's the 0-2. It's popped foul out of play. First base side, still 0-2. There's not as many spots on this field for kids to get the foul balls, especially down the third baseline. So they're all over on the first baseline on the hill.
Can't go wrong with any place you sit right now. Anywhere you can get away from the wind.
The 0-2, oh, that looked good, but it's outside just a touch, and it's 1-2. Good breaking ball. Good place to miss for Avadano.
When you're ahead 0-2, you can waste one.
1-2 is grounded softly in front of home plate. The catcher, Gasper, throws over, and it's just in time, and there's 1 out.
I believe they actually called Reese Hampton safe.
Oh, they did. I completely missed it. My bad. So we got an infield single. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some. I lose, Hampton won. So Stovall is up now. And he's 0 for 3, which is uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, he's usually pretty solid out there.
First pitch is swung on and missed 0-1. Gee, I don't know what I'd do without you. I missed that completely.
I don't know what I would do without you. Tell me how many hits are at the end of innings and whatnot. Iron sharpening iron. Stovall with 3
Throw
hits
over.
yesterday.
Oh, they almost get Hampton. That was a weird play. Avadano just kind of threw it. He didn't even look like he stepped off. He almost nailed him.
Lefty pickoff moves, man.
Throw over again. That looked a little bit more conventional.
If anyone can get back, it's Hampton. You're not going to find anyone fleeter of foot than him.
Here's the 0-1 upstairs, and it gets away from Gasper, and the throw over to second is not in time. And Hampton takes second base.
Now that was an impressive play on both ends, and the jump that Hampton's able to get and the speed he generates off the jump, but then also the rocket from Gasper, just making that anywhere close to an out.
I didn't think there would even be a throw. It was a great play. 1-1 is hit into left field. It's a base hit. Let's see if they send Hampton. They won't. He'll just stop at third. It's a no-out single for Stovall. He's got his first of the day. There's 2 on and nobody out. For Micah Coffey, who had a home run last inning to lead it off.
Boy, number 12 from Minnesota, third baseman, Micah Coffey.
Coffey 5 for his last 7, Chris, with that home run. He is swinging the big stick right now.
And the Harbor Hawks threatening once again in the top of the 6th. They could push across a couple more runs, and they could really not have to rely so heavily on perfect pitching.
Perfect pitching, almost impossible for the Harbor Hawks to come by this year.
It's 6-3 now. They lead. The first pitch is a breaking ball in for strike 1, and it's 0-1.
Even if the 6 runs hold by most averages and just stands, Harbor Hawks could pull this out.
Already 14 hits. Pitch is swung on and miss. It gets behind Gasper. Coming home and scoring is Hampton. And it's 7-3 Harbor Hawks.
And now even more so because staff has been letting up an average of 5 runs per game with that ERA of around 5.11. That's where I was getting at with that earlier. Just had to wait on the pitch, and now the Harbor Hawks really taking a big lead on the Whitecaps.
I'm not sure how they would score that. It would either be a pass ball or a wild pitch. Looked pretty close to either of them. But it is 0-2 on Coffey with 1 on second. Pitch is in the dirt. It's a ball. Stovall's on second. Stovall, who just had his first hit of the day. He's 1 for 4 now. And Avadano in some trouble. Still nobody out. But he's ahead 1-2 on Coffey. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt again. He's thrown that pitch in the same spot 3 times in a row. And now it's 2-2.
Just trying to work out a little kink with the breaking ball. It is still summer baseball, so now's the time where you do that. But from a competitive standpoint, I'm sure Jamie Shevchik just hopes he figures out something else.
2-2 on the way. And it's popped up, way up into shallow left, and Raffanino makes the play, and there is the first out. And you know, one thing Hyannis has done tonight is they've had fun, and that's another thing you got to do in summer ball is have fun, most importantly. And 7 runs in just 6 innings is certainly a way to have fun.
On the Whitecaps, as their pitching staff has really been hit around.
That was Playboy number 19.
And again, already 14 hits in 5 1/3 innings.
21 between the two teams.
Hyannis has doubled Brewster's hit total. The first pitch to Robinson, who had a home run last inning, is called strike one. Both of them were absolute shots to right field. It's a bit deeper in right field, quite a bit deeper in right field here than at McKeon Park. So they were real home runs. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. Robinson goes down to one knee, and it's 0-2.
Looks like Robinson is rocking some stirrups today. Might have borrowed those from Ethan Larison.
Looked like Adrian Beltre on that swing, going down to one knee. And Avadano looks back Stovall. Oh, 2 count, 1 out in the top of the 6th. It's 7-3 Hyannis. Runner goes. The pitch is cut on a missed strike 3. The throw to third not in time. And there are 2 away. So Robinson strikes out, but Stovall steals third. And it brings up Ryan Olenek with 2 outs.
Whitecaps exhaling after the 3 and 4 spots are retired, as both of those took the Whitecaps deep back to back the last time they came up in the order.
And now I can't believe this, but it says that's the first steal for Stovall on the season.
First of many more with that speed.
It's amazing that this is only his first. Swing and a miss by Olenek, who's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. I can't believe that's his first steal. He probably just goes and then it's a hit and run. Or fielder's choice or something. Here's an 0-1 pitch grounded towards second. Dunn has it over to first in time. And that's the final out. But the Harbor Hawks get 1 more run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 on at the end of 5.5. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 7-3 Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. So we're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network with Chris Walker and Chris Lucy. And Chris Lucy has the final line on Chase Haney.
Well, the Sidewinder went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, none earned, no walks, and no strikeouts. He was able to pitch to contact, and one Sidewinder gives way to another in Nick Sandlin, who steps up to the mound right now.
Called strike one to Nick Dunn, the second baseman. It's 0-1. The 0-1 is swung on and missed, and it's quickly 0-2. Sandlin, Nick Sandlin, the new pitcher, out to a good start. 0-2 is grounded towards second. In time for out number one as Stovall makes the throw. He makes it look so easy out there.
He really does. Very quick hands, able just to range up the middle too, matching quick hands with quick feet. Throwing over to Ryan Olenek. Both Mississippi guys playing in the SEC, one for Mississippi State, one for Ole Miss, but who says we all can't get along, Chris, as the two conference rivals, the two in-state rivals, able to make a play over on the right side of the infield for out number one.
Here's Devin Foyle. 1 for 2, hits one in the left field. Coming on and making the catch is Robinson for the second out, and he makes a lot of those amazing catches. That's just another one of them.
And it looked like that ball was taken by the wind a little bit too. You saw some tail on it towards the left field line, and Robinson able to read it all the way through, had to slide down to make the play, but he did, and he got the job done.
So here's Hill. 1 for 2. First pitch is in there for a called strike one. And one difference that Sandlin has from Haney is that he throws that fastball much harder. Pitch is low. It's 1-1.
And you wouldn't expect it necessarily as he comes in only at 5'11 and 170.
That one crossed up DiCaprio and goes to the backstop. It's 2-1.
I mean, when you come in at more than 50 pounds lighter and 7 inches shorter, you'd imagine a little dip in velo rather than an uptick. But Sandlin making it work.
2-1. Misses for a ball, 3-1. And Sandlin has an ERA of 3.48 and 10 1/3 innings. So, and batter's only hitting 225 off of him. He needs a good appearance for this team, but he walks Hill with 2 outs to put a man on first for A.J. Graffinino. Perhaps a 2-out rally, which both teams have had a few of this game. Brewster got it going in the third and scored all of their runs with 2 outs in that third inning.
Harbor Hawks been no stranger to 2-out rallies themselves this year, Chris.
Pitch outside to Graffinino. No, and both teams are very good at this kind of thing. (7-3) Hyannis with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th for Nick Sandlin. Here's the 1-0. It's low for a ball, 2-0. Hill on first. First 2 batters were retired. Sandlin trying to escape untouched. Here's the 2-0 Ats in there for a strike. It's 2-1.
Seen a lot of fastballs from Sandlin today, as usually you can expect him to mix in that dirty slider he has. Maybe he's just trying to stretch out the arm a little bit. It is a bit chilly, so make sure he stays loose and doesn't mess around with his elbow too much.
Here's the 2-1 called, strike 2. Sandlin comes back with 2 straight strikes, and he's 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Sandlin waits for the sign from DiCaprio. He's got it. And here's the 2-2. It's just a bit low. And the count is full. That was a good take by Graffinino.
It was, son of the former major leaguer. Using what his dad taught him to good effect. He's been ripping the cover off the ball for the Whitecaps so far this year as well.
3-2 runner goes. This one's hit and caught by Coffey at third. Had to make a small jump to make that play. It looked like a single off the bat. but coffee's there, and that's the final out of the 6th. We head to the 7th. It's still 7-3 Hyannis over Brewster on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Back with you on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network, Chris Walker and Chris Lucy, bringing it to you live. We're in Brewster today, Stony Brook Field.
Boy number 30 from
Robert
Iowa,
Newstrom will lead it off
Hawkeye.
against Avedano, Ryan Avedano.
Newstrom.
It'll be Newstrom, Proctor, and DiCaprio. They've all had huge days. DiCaprio with a single that scored a run. Proctor with 2 doubles and a single, and Newstrom with 2 singles. Takes a pitch in there for called strike 1. That's just a very good breaking pitch. Looked like it was going to hit Newstrom. He backed away from it, but it's called strike 1.
Yeah, Newstrom has been a tough out all season long. He can really put a hurting on the ball as well as just match it with that good batting eye and be trouble at the plate.
0-1 is a fastball called strike number 2. It's 0-2.
Outs have been hard to come by in a lot of spots for the Whitecaps today as Harbor Hawks bats coming to life and the pitching staff matching that today as well, which is what we needed to see from them.
The 0-2 called strike 3, and Newstrom is down looking. And he did not love that, but that's the first out of the inning.
Hard to love anything that sends you to the dugout on a possible opinion call, but the home plate umpire has been keeping the strike zone fairly similar throughout the game, not really giving certain pitches. Doesn't like that loan away, but did give it there.
Proctor's 3 for 3, and he takes called strike 1 here. He's had as good a day as you could have hitting-wise. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball that misses low.
Yeah, Ford Proctor, since getting has just been racing past possibly to his second ever CCBL All-Star appearance.
Is right in there for called strike 2. That's just a good breaking pitch again. So it's 1-2 on Proctor with 1 out in the 7th, and it's low in the dirt, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Avedano has settled down since those home runs earlier on in this game.
Well, he didn't give them up. It was Stiver.
Oh, yeah.
That one's hit foul, left field, out of play. Stiver gave him up, and then he was replaced by Avedano.
That's right. The 4+ threw me off there. My apologies.
Yeah, it's all good. He's only given up 1 run. He's done a pretty good job. It is 7-3 Hyannis. And a 2-2 count on Proctor, and it's called strike 3. Proctor down looking, and that's second straight looking strikeout, and you're 2 away. Brings up Dom DiCaprio, who's 1 for 3 with a single.
Number 9 from Rice. Catcher, Dominic DiCaprio.
First pitch to DiCaprio is in there for a called strike 1. It's 0-1. This is game number 16 on the season already out of 44. We're over the 1/3 mark. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. It's hard to believe that we're already 16 games in. I feel like I just got here.
I know it's been fast. It is a long, short season though, and Hyannis still with a good chance to get out of the bottom of the Western Division.
Here's the 0-2. It's high and outside. It's now 1-2. Donovan would be next.
Wareham down in Katuitt at the moment. They're leading 6-0 in the top of the 4th.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Avedano strikes out the side in order. That's it for the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, nothing. All strikeouts again for the Harbor Hawks. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch. 7-3 Harbor Hawks. We'll be right back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network getting ready for the bottom of the 7th. And it's Nick Sandlin back out for Hyannis. He had a pretty good 6th inning. He didn't allow a run. He did walk one batter.
Number 2 from West
He'll face
Michigan.
Smith, Gasper, and
Connor.
Gahagan. And Smith is 1 for 3 with a single, a run scored, and a stolen base. First pitch is a called strike number 1.
The way Sandlin undercuts the ball really puts an interesting spin on it. It looks almost as if it rises as it comes to the plate.
Pitch is called strike 2 on the outside corner. It's different from Haney, and they both are sidewinders, but Sandlin and Haney are very different with the way their pitches react.
Haney much more herky-jerky with it.
Yo-2, wow, that was interesting. It goes above everybody and nearly took out one of the guys from the Harbor Hawks that's doing radar out there. Went right over DiCaprio, right over the umpire. Here's the 1-2. That's a floater, like you said, and it misses for another ball. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that first pitch was a buzzsaw, though. Sandlin. And he has a very much more so rubbery delivery.
That one is swung on and missed, strike 3. And that's the first out of the inning. And it's the first strikeout for Sandlin.
again, Sandlin in the midst of a bounce back from a rough outing out in Wareham where he couldn't even get himself out of the inning. Let up 2 hits and only 2/3 of an inning pitched, faced 4 batters.
Certainly rebounded here today. He faces Mickey Gasper now, who's also 1 for 3. First pitch is a called strike 1.
Gasper dirtying up those white pants behind home plate where he's really been doing it all for the Brewster team today.
Oh, and it's 1-1. Hyannis, before the top of the 7th, had scored in each of their last 3 innings. Just an observation I had looking at the scoreboard. They do lead 7-3 with 14 hits here in the bottom of the 7th.
Brewster hasn't scored since the bottom of the 3rd.
2-1 is outside. It's 3-1. Gahagan is next. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Here's the 3-1 from Sandlin. He walked him. A 1-out walk to Gasper, and there's some life for Brewster as Gahagan comes up. Again, 0 for 1.
Sandlin needs to make his pitches to Gahagan, though, as senior out of UNC has a pair of walks today.
And a run scored. Tough to pitch to. Sandlin's going to have to, like you said, give him something to at least get the bat on. Here's the first pitch, and that's called strike 1. It looked like the slider, by the way. Gahagan backed out, and it just looped right over the plate.
Wasn't fooling Jeff Cunney. Home plate umpire calling that one.
Here's the 0-1. That's right in down the middle, and it's 0-2, and Gahagan shaking his head. He couldn't do anything about that pitch.
No, he went down against Chase Haney in the 5th, so Headwinder's not someone that Gahagan is a fan of.
0-2 is foul tipped into the glove of DiCaprio, and that's strike 3. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Sandlin. There are 2 outs. Good job by DiCaprio to hold on to that one. He kind of snow-coned it, but good play. 2 outs.
Gave a nice little flutter of the glove after. Bit of a showboat, but
that was hockey goalie style right there. I saw that.
Ooh.
Just show everybody you have the ball or the puck in hockey.
Works either way.
First pitch to Hunter Bishop is low, and it's a ball and no strikes. Bishop is 1 for 3 as well.
And every sport has its respective tools of ignorance. Hockey goalies with more gear than most.
I have to say I've used the little showboaty thing more than I'd like to admit. But it's fun sometimes. You got to let everybody know you have the puck, as that's low for a ball 2-0.
Not like you don't earn it, too. I mean, you make the save, you get to have a little bit of fun with it.
Sure.
I mean,
everybody's watching. You might as well have fun with it.
Exactly, yeah. And you got the guys who score the goals with the crazy team-wide sellies when they make big plays.
2-0 is called strike 1. And it's kind of like a home run in baseball. You know, everybody comes out of the dugout to congratulate you. 2-1 count to Bishop. Sandlin deals. That's inside. And Bishop thought about it, but it's 3-1 as the wind continues and it gets colder. Not the warmest day out on the Cape.
No, hasn't been necessarily all that warm of a week.
The 3-1 is called strike 2 as Bishop began to throw the bat, but he'll have to come back. It's a full count. Sandlin trying to get out of the inning here. 3-2. Oh, that missed. Just missed outside, and it's ball 4. It's the second walk of the inning for Sandlin, and he has alternated strikeouts, and walks this inning, and it brings up H, who's 1 for 3. Everybody's 1 for 3 in this lineup.
Still unable to edge this Harbor Hawk team that's piled on 7 runs.
The only guys with no hits are Gahagan and Dunn. Everybody else has a single, which is weird. Usually you say that when a team is winning by a lot, but again, 7-3 Hyannis.
Another weird one for the Whitecaps.
The first pitch is called strike 1 to Curry, and it's 0-1.
Again, Brewster, as the broadcasters before this game were telling me, has been on the winning side and losing side of some very strange games this year.
This one popped up right over our booth. Foul, of course, and out of play, and it's quickly 0-2 on Curry.
I mean, to that effect, they won against the Chatham A's the other day, 11-1, and Chatham out-hit them 9 hits to 7.
Here's the 0-2 up and away, and it's 1-2. Samlin once again trying to get out of this. He's got 2 on and 2 out. Harbor Hawks trying to hold that 4-run lead as we get later in this ball game. This one low, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, we're in the bottom of the 7th. So, time running short on both teams here. Hyannis doesn't need any more runs right now. They've done their job, and the pitching's held up. They've only given up runs in 1 inning.
Can't count the Whitecaps out, though, as their offense coming into this was electric.
Here's the 2-2, and that one's hit towards first. Olenek got it. Nice play. Steps on first himself, and no further damage in the 7th. No runs, no hits, 2 left on, no errors. We'll head to the 8th. Already moving along nicely. It's only 7 o'clock. It's 7-3 Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Here we go on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network to the top of the 8th. 7-3 Hyannis over Brewster. Field, Chris Walker and Chris Lucy. Here with you, it's Donovan, Hampton, and Stovall. Donovan 1 for 3. I keep saying 1 for 3. Everybody's 1 for 3 today, except, Olenek, Newstrom, and Proctor are much better than that right now. But it's been a good day for the Harbor Hawks, and here's Donovan's 4th at bat, and it's a first pitch ball, 1-0. Go ahead.
Unfortunately for the Harbor Hawks, it's been a good day for the Gatemen, too, as they battle to stay away from that last place spot in the West.
Called strike 1, and now it's never a good time to look at, it's always a good time to look at the standings, but it's not good to say, so have the Wareham team, when you're already relying on teams to lose and you to win and stay away from the bottom of the league as that one misses for a ball 2-1.
Wareham on top 6-0 in the bottom of the fourth at Katuitt.
But that's how the season's going, and you have to deal with it. This one fouled off. It's 2-2. But, you know, this team has gotten themselves in a hole, and they've got plenty of time to dig out of it. Just fewer than 30 games left. There's still time. The 2-2 is low, and it's a full count to Donovan. Hampton is on deck.
Brewster fighting to stay relevant in the East as well.
Here's the 3-2, ball four. It's high, and it's a leadoff walk for Donovan.
However, Yarmouth Dennis making that harder for them. They're knotted at second place at 8-6 each right now, but YD leads Bourne 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth, and they're playing at YD as well.
That's another place we haven't been to. It is YD. And they're close to us. We live in West Yarmouth ourselves, but it's weird that we haven't played that team that's so close to us. That's going to be a fun game. That team is very good. First pitch is a called strike to Reese Hampton. He showed bunt but pulled it back. Hampton's 2 for 4 today, so he's had a good day.
For us, it'll be a short drive, too. This one upwards of 30 minutes, so a bit long.
0-1. Misses low. It's a 1-1. Only drive 15 or 20 minutes, Chris, to a game is certainly a plus. Well, it's more like 20 to 25 even to our home games with traffic now.
And to get more and more crowded as the summer goes on.
Here's the 1-1 and a bunt put down by Hampton, but he bunted it off of himself. And it's a foul ball. It's 1-2.
Weather gets a little bit warmer as the summer goes on, but hasn't been the case so far. Teams have only gotten colder and kind of oscillated between hot and cold.
It's not too back in Connecticut for sure.
Definitely not. As our diligent photo intern Mimi snaps a few behind home plate.
7-3 Hyannis, a 1-2 count. And it's grounded sharply towards short. They go to second for one on the first in time. It's a double play. And they get Donovan in 6-4-3 away for Hunter Stovall. Not used to seeing Hampton ground into double plays.
No, we're used to seeing him beat out infield hits and almost beat that one out as well. He really can speed up the line. His parents were telling me he's done agility training in Charlotte, North Carolina since he was 8 years old.
Stovall takes upstairs for a ball. He is 1 for 4.
Stovall, another speedster.
And some people are just born with it, and Stovall is one of those guys. He's born with that speed. 1-0 is hit pretty well into left center field, going back and watching it fly over the wall. Well, now they call it a home run. Stovall thought it bounced, but that's a home run, a solo home run. Here's Stovall with 2 outs, and it's 8-3 Hyannis.
And a testament to Hunter Stovall in that he was running that thing out past first base. You could tell off the bat that thing was going also to dead center field as well, one of the deeper recesses of the ballpark. But Hunter Stovall just put his head down and was gunning and had to look around a few times to make sure it was out.
Well, I think that's what confused me as Foyle, the left fielder, kind of put his arms up as if to say it bounced over. That's why I thought it was a double, and so did Stovall. But what a shot. It's 8-3, third home run of the game for Hyannis. And once again, they lead 8-3 as it's 1-1 to Coffey. 1-1 to Coffey as he has a home run as well today. 1 for 4. Avadano's still out there. He's given up 2 runs. The pitch is a called strike number 2. And the Brewster team in total has given up 15 hits.
And Hyannis has doubled its home run output of the season on this game. 3 home runs coming into this game, 3 today.
Just misses outside. to Coffee, and it's 2-2. 5 innings in which the Harbor Hawks have scored tonight is certainly a plus. Here's the 2-2, fouled off by Coffee, and he stays alive. All solo home runs, too, for the Harbor Hawks, which they'll take. That's 3 runs. Avedano with a 2-2 count. Breaking ball fouled off, and it's still 2-2.
Can really take pride in the fact that they've just been able to hit with runners on base, not only getting them there, but also once they finally put ducks on the pond, being able to hit them home as they have today.
No, you're absolutely right. Including 3 in the top of the second, which really got them going offensively, which they've needed. Here's the 2-2. Ooh, that just misses inside, and it's a full count again with 2 outs.
I mean, 4 of 8 runs for the Harbor Hawks today have been batted in rather than just homered in.
That's another great sign, and the pitching has been good to this point. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball fouled off towards us. And it hits the fence behind home plate. It's still a full count.
The only run not batted in, the Reese Hampton one, as he came around.
Full count. Ball grounded towards short. Graffinino fields and fires in time. So the Harbor Hawks add another run, and they lead it 8-3 after the solo home run by Stovall. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 8-3 Hyannis. It's now 8-3 Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks digital network. Back on the Harbor Hawks digital network. So we head to the bottom of the 8th, 8-3 Hyannis. There is a new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks, and that is, get this, Ryan Weiss, who's only made starts this season. He's had 3 starts. He's got that great ERA of 2.25. He's from Wright State University, and he will be called on maybe to go 2 innings here today and close the door, as Chad Gassman knows how badly this team needs to shut their opponent down in the late innings.
Especially with the Gateman winning down in Katuitt. That Western Division stellar still very, very much a dogfight to get out of right now between the Harbor Hawks and the Gatemen. But Nick Sandlin did his part today. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, but put the ball in play and got outs.
He did, and he didn't give up a run, which is the most important part. He had a very nice bounce back. He did walk a couple, as you mentioned, but he didn't give up runs, and that's the biggest thing for this pitching staff. As Weiss deals high, and it's 1-1. The first pitch was a called strike to Nick Dunn. It'll be Dunn, Foyle, and Hill in the bottom of the 8th. And Weiss deals 1-1 and fouled straight back 1-2. Getting a little bit darker here, and there's no lights. Swing and a miss. And Weiss gets Dunn to swing through one, and it's his first strikeout of the game, and it's the first out of the 8th.
0 for 3 on the day for Dunn. So that's not a good one to look back on there, but Weiss off to a great start.
Here's Devin Foyle, who's 1 for 3. Singled back in the 4th. 2 F7s as well. And here's the first pitch from Weiss. It's bouncer, and it's 1-0. Again, it's starting to get a little darker here. It gets closer to 8 o'clock. It's only 7:20. There's plenty of time, but the clouds do make things darker. Swung through, and it's even a ball and a strike on Foyle.
You imagine this has to be an issue down here in Brewster because there's no lights over this field that when it gets dark, it's trouble.
This one is a check swing, and yes, he went. And it's 1-2.
I mean, with the 8-3 lead for Hyannis right now, it looks like get out of this before the sunlight becomes a problem, but
swing and a miss, strike 3, and Weiss has set down the first 2 men he's seen on strikeouts.
as I was saying, I'm not sure what the league rules are as far as dark outs are concerned, but we'll have to give that a double check if that starts to come into play.
Oh, I'm sure it has at some point because of the no lights. You know, a game goes extra innings or whatever. And you could play. Game goes 12 innings here and starts at 5 or 5:30 as some games do here. And it's 9 o'clock. You can't see anything at 9 o'clock. Here's the 0-1 to Hill, and he takes a ball outside. It's even at 1-1. Hill is 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. And Weiss delivers the 1-1, and it's lined into right field for a base hit. That's the second hit of the day for Hill. He's had a nice 2 for 3 to 2-out single.
Who knows? This thing starts getting dark. Maybe the crowd just throw on their flashlights on their phones. It'd be like a Kanye concert.
Why not? I don't know if it would work, but it's worth a shot. AJ Graffinino up now. He's 1 for 4. 3 flyouts and a single. First pitch is called strike number 1 from Weiss, who's going to need to probably pitch the 9th as well. He's still got to get out of this. Here's the 0-1 swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2. That fastball looks great from Weiss.
Yeah, Weiss is well rested coming into today.
And I was saying in his last start, they need him to come in relief. This one bounces. Because of this reason, they don't have guys at the end of their bullpen that are ready to go that can get the job done. Tripp and Larison can only do so much, and they're used way too much. And Weiss went 3 innings in his last start, so he's really, really rested, like you said. And why not bring him in here? The pitch is grounded through for a base hit into right field. Moving to third on the hit is Hill, and it's 1st and 3rd. And 2 outs for Connor Smith.
Now coming to the plate, third baseman from Western Michigan. Number 2.
Chuck Graffinino up to 2 for 5 today with the hit. You have to imagine he has a little bit more pride than to go immediately a 1 for 5, as He's just been ripping the cover off the ball this season, and a nice piece of hitting right through the gap. Now there's runners on the corners.
And he'll raise that average even more. And that's what you have to do with an average like 350 or plus or above that. You need 2 hits every game at least. Ain't it? Or go 1 for 3. Now 1 for 3 is not even going to help you out. It's 333, which is still excellent, but that's what happens when you're that good of a hitter.
A blessing and a curse.
Taking second on indifference is Graffinino. There was no throw and nobody came over. This one is hit into right field, foul, and the count on Connor Smith is 1-1.
The wind blowing away from us here in the booth, so that souvenir you're looking for will be hard to come by.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that one. The 1-1 is hit into center field, but right at Reese Hampton, who makes the catch for the final out of the 8th. We're going to go to the 9th. It's 8-3 Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Hopefully, Hyannis can tack on a few more and hold Brewster. We'll see if they can on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris and Chris back at you for the 9th. Hyannis on top of Brewster 8-3 right now. And they have a chance to extend their lead even more with Robinson, Olenek, and Newstrom, who have all had great days at the plate, due up.
Number 19 from Central Michigan.
I would imagine they would ask Ryan Weiss to come back out for the 9th, regardless of the score.
Get him work. I mean, it had been 4 days since he'd hit the mound.
And again, he only went 3 innings in that outing. That was a home game. That was the second game of the doubleheader against Chatham back on Sunday.
2 win for the Harbor Hawks.
Called strike 1 to Robinson there. 0-1 is swung on and missed as well. It's 0-2.
D-Raw with about the biggest hit of the season for him in the 5th.
Back-to-back home runs between him and Coffey. Here's a pitch fouled off. Third base side out of play. That's why it's hard to get any foul balls here because there's woods on that whole third base side. The kids are still in the woods going for the ball. I guess there's a path over there. Of course there has to be. Look at the other kids. They go run after the ball no matter what. Woods can't stop them. Here's the 0-2. And it's outside for a ball. Choking up on the bat was Robinson that time.
Field really is a kid's dream. Woods and in a ballpark right out back at the school.
Here's the 1-2. Just misses low and away, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Avadano, as you said off the air, Chris, is saving this bullpen. Because that's a check swing, but he did not go, and it's a full count. He hasn't had a perfect outing. He came on and pitched the whole fifth after the 2 home runs were given up by Stiver. And he's pitched 4 innings, and he's in his 5th inning of work right now. He's really done a great job considering this starting pitching was not great. Pitch is hit towards first and not in time as the underhand throw went to Abadano, and sliding in head first is Robinson with a single. That's how you go down and get it, and that's his 2nd hit. He eats 2 for 5.
Robinson, you got to stay hungry, and he certainly did there. And Hyannis is a team that really prides itself on its hitting. As I was talking with Micah Coffey last night, he said this is a team that can swing the bat and is proud of it. So Daniel Robinson legging out a hit there, sliding in the top of the 9th, up 5 runs, just shows to the pride that this team takes in its work.
16 hits, 8 runs on 16 hits. Very impressive for the Harbor Hawks. And that's just a great effort, as you said, by Robinson to get to first base, no matter what. It doesn't matter what the score is. First pitch to Olenek is hit foul right field line, out of play. But even though it's the top of the 9th and an 8-3 lead, head first slide into first base, anything to get a base hit. Has a 400 day, including a home run. Here's the 0-1 to Olenek, and Avadano steps off. And again, back to Avadano, he's been a workhorse for this team today, and they've got to thank him for giving them 5+ strong, 4+ strong at this point, and that one misses low for a ball, 1-1.
He'll get a big bag of ice on that shoulder and a gold star after this. I mean, the Harbor Hawks have had to use 4 pitchers today.
Yes.
And Brewster only 2.
Here's the 1-1 again. And it's lined sharply foul down the left field line, and it's 1-2.
Bullpen catcher out there looking bored as he hasn't had anything to do today.
No, he's just been sitting there and nobody really warming up out there. This is Avadano's game.
He didn't start it, but he'll finish it, it looks like.
Here's the 1-2. Grounded towards first. Throwing on the second for 1 on the first. Not in time. Good effort by Gahagan. And good awareness to throw to second. And it's a fielder's choice. 3-6. And there's 1 out. And going to first, obviously, is Olenek. Robinson out at second, and Robert Newstrom up. He's 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a run scored. Avadano now through 4 1/3. And he's ready to deal with Newstrom, who's been hot all season. He swings through that one. A home run there, which would have been his 3rd.
Yeah, he'd really been carrying the team in that respect early on this year, as he had 2 home runs going into this game. Still is the only player with multiple home runs on the Harbor Hawks, but now that output being doubled today.
By Coffey, the one by Robinson, and Hunter Stovall's first of the season.
Really got all of one, and interesting for a slash hitter. The deepest part of the ballpark.
The 0-1 grounded off the foot of Newstrom, foul, and it's 0-2. Just a nice, easy swing from Stovall. He's not the biggest guy, but he's very strong and did it well out of here.
It was a liner, and also helps that the fence is very low. It comes to about chest level for most of these outfielders.
Dono has an 0-2 count on Newstrom. He's going to throw over to check on Olenek. Olenek will finish 2 for 5 today. Another good day for him. He'll raise that average. And it was already at 286. Has hit number 11 and 12 today. The 0-2 to Newstrom is swung on a miss, strike 3. And he will finish the day 2 for 5. And it brings up Ford Proctor, who's 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. He's got a single as well.
2 for 5, not a bad line for Newstrom, but to end the game with 2 swinging strikeouts in your last 2 at-bats, got to imagine it leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth.
True, he won't be happy. So with 2 outs and 1 on, here's Ford Proctor. Avadano trying to get through 5 innings. First pitch is low, 1-0. And it's, again, 8-3 Hyannis over Brewster. The Whitecaps coming back to tie it at 3 after Hyannis took a 3-0 lead in the second, but that was all Brewster has had, and they've only scored in that 1 inning. Time called right before the pitch. Don DiCaprio is on deck, 1 for 4.
Teammates at Rice down in the Conference USA.
Called strike 1 on Ford Proctor. It's 1-1. So again, we probably will see Ryan Weiss in the 9th, regardless of what happens here. In the bottom of the 9th to try to close it out. A win that Hyannis desperately needs. Pitch is low for a ball, 2-1 to Ford Proctor. Proctor now hitting in the 250s after going over his first 13 to start this season. Here's the 2-1. Outside, 3-1. And DiCaprio takes off the top layer of his straps as he prepares to hit.
That's the pain of a catcher, having to hit with 2 outs, knowing that if you get on, no matter what, next out, you got to put the gear back on.
Here's the 3-1. It's grounded towards first, but and the count goes to 3-2. It looked like Proctor swung at ball 4 right there. He had to go down and get one.
A couple more souvenir hunters out in center field. They've set up blankets waiting for another homer.
So Avadano trying to get through this. He's had a great day. Has a 3-2 count on Proctor. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Avadano. That's his 6th strikeout in 5 innings, and that's most likely it for him. As we're going to head to the bottom of the 9th, 8-3 Hyannis. Once again, last chance for Brewster on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network coming right up after this. Welcome back to the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy. It's the bottom of the ninth. Brewster needs 5 to tie. They have 3 runs on 9 hits. Hyannis has 8 runs on 16 hits and 1 error. Error hasn't hurt them in this game. Ryan Weiss back out for his second inning, trying to finish it off. Not a safe situation, but still it would be huge if Hyannis could get this win and not allow a run. Called strike 1 there to Mickey Gasper. Gasper's 1 for 3 today. Singled and scored in the third. 0-1 is a breaking ball called strike 2. It's very quickly 0-2.
Well, the Harbor Hawks with the only error, like you said, Chris, but no surprise that they've lit up just about everything they could on the scoreboard.
Here's the 0-2. That just misses outside. It's 1-2. And at this point in the day, the lights would definitely be on at any baseball field. It certainly has gotten darker, and that's what happens. It's getting closer to 8, and it's full dark by about 9. So that one misses. It's 2-2, but it's very weird that there's no lights. It's been, a 2.5-hour game. It's been rather long for one of these games, and it's certainly getting darker. The 2-2 is hit into right center field, coming on his Newstrom. It's going to fall for a hit. It's a leadoff single for Gasper, and he is 2 for 4 today. And that will set up Zach Gahagan, who's 0 for 35 for the Brewster Whitecaps from the University of North Carolina.
Again, Chris, it's like how Connor Green was saying early on in this game when he came to give us a visit with Davis Vayner. Back to around the 1920s with the lack of the lights. An old-time feel out here.
And up until recently, it's a little bit like Wrigley Field. Oh, that one hit Gahagan in the back of the head. And without a doubt, he'll take a trip to first, and all the trainers and coaches will come out to check on him. And the home plate umpire tells Gahagan to stay here. He says, don't go anywhere, and everybody gives him a hand. And the coaches from both teams, Ryan Weiss is out to make sure he's all right.
Jamie Shevchik, his manager for the Whitecaps, also checking in.
Both coaching staffs are out. And they're going to just tell him to take a seat. And I'm sure he's fine. He wanted to go to first. But he walks off just fine, and nobody feels worse about it than does Weiss. You would never mean to do that to anybody. And Coach Gassman just tells him to settle down. And he could say he's sorry after the game, but you never like to hit anybody, that's for sure, especially at this point in the game.
Exactly, yeah. Up 8-3. That's just a tough break for Weiss. It's getting cold out. You start to lose feeling in the fingers. I mean, I have a sweatshirt on. Weiss is out there in short sleeves just trying to finish this game, wrap up a win for the Harbor Hawks, a much-needed win. And like that happens, thankfully everybody was able to get up, rub some dirt on it, and get on with it.
Right, and Weiss will definitely go over and say sorry, I'm sure, after the game or something like that. There is a pinch runner. It's Christian Molfetta, obviously, after they take Gahagan out, just as a precaution, I would imagine. He seemed fine, but you never do know. You want to always be safe with concussions so much in the talks lately in every sport. It's in with the hit by pitch. There's 2 on and no one out for Hunter Bishop, who is 1 for 3 today. I told you, everybody's 1 for 3.
Just about.
The pitch is outside. It's 1-1.
And Chris, you make a good point with concussion protocol. Of course, everybody's out here on the Cape because they want to play. And you have some of the most competitive guys in the country on this field right now. You really have to save athletes from themselves.
Right, and of course, Gahagan wanted to go to first and towards second. Let's see if they turn to it's on the first for 1, on the second for 1, and on the first for 2. A 4-6-3 double play sends Bishop and Molfetta down, and there are 2 outs. But as you said, Chris, I was saying Gahagan wanted to go down the line, and the home plate umpire said don't go anywhere. Nobody wanted him to go to first base. Even though he got up, he was fine. You just can never be too careful.
Again, these guys are tough. I mean, Jake Mangum took a foul ball off the foot yesterday, and he stayed in the game, and he's taken a rest for the entirety of this one.
Right, you just don't want to rush anybody back as this one is popped up. Foul. I have no idea where it is. It's over our booth and rolls down the hill, and there are the kids right on it. There's about 5 of them fighting for the ball. They're still fighting, and it rolls down, and finally one of them gets it. Little do they know that now a placement called for them, as it's 0-2 to the new hitter, Cesar Trejo. So Michael Curry finishes 1 for 4 as that one misses for a ball, 1-2, and Brewster's down to their final strike, by the way.
Trejo out of UNC Greensboro.
The 1-2 is low, 2-2. Now you get to finish talking about him.
Yeah, had a good season out at school. Batted 280, 211 at bats.
2-2 pitch from Weiss. Breaking ball just high, and the count runs full. Now the kids don't even know they had a play called for them. That ball rolled all the way down the hill after the kids. They just kept pulling at it, and then both of them lost it, and a new one got it. 2-2 is popped up foul. They're going to have another chance. Right near 2 people that were talking, and the kids are on it again.
One youngster springing out from behind us to make the grab there. Nice play.
Beautiful play. I tell you, they get on it so fast as this one is fouled off again. And then, excuse me, that one, yeah, fouled off. It's 3-2 still.
Trejo fighting to stay alive here.
Foul ball. He should know I'm looking for souvenirs.
Trading a call for a ball. Well, he's obviously not been listening, I guess. Which is a shame. Thank you for all those who are listening, though.
We had a great turnout today. We had over 20 at one point at one time. This one swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's it. Weiss comes on and pitches 2 great innings. Gave up a couple hits, but at the end of the day, the Harbor Hawks win 8-3 over the Brewster Whitecaps. And that's their 7th win of the season.
And what a win it was, Chris. The pitching and the hitting finally mixing together at the same time with a burst on offense, and then the pitching staff able to string along 4 pitchers and string along a game that the Harbor Hawks could manage and they could win out here in Brewster.
That's what happens when you combine pitching and hitting at the same time. And really good pitching and good hitting turns out to be a win. The Harbor Hawks only gave up a run in 1 inning this game, which is certainly something we'll talk about on our postgame when we come back. We'll be right back for the postgame show on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy to finish it off for everybody listening. We thank everybody once again for tuning in and joining us on the post game. It was an 8-3 Harbor Hawks victory over the Brewster Whitecaps. A game where they got ahead 3-0, gave up that lead. It was tied 3-3 at one point. That was in the bottom of the 3rd, but Hyannis came right back in the top of the 4th inning and retook the lead 4-3.
Yeah, that was a huge one as Ford Proctor able to maintain his good going, hitting that double, and then Brendan Donovan singling him in as Donovan is just trying to get his offense going as well. He was able just to poke one and contribute on the offensive side, which was good for him as he tries to just get out of an early season slump and carry on the rest of this season.
1 for 3 for Donovan. As you mentioned, he got that hit that he needed. He's been starting to slowly get back into it, hitting. 3 home runs on the day for the Harbor Hawks. There's a lot of good in this game for this team. Again, 3 home runs, 1 by Micah Coffey, 1 by Dana Robinson, and then the last one by Hunter Stovall, which, I mean, that doubled the home run total, as you mentioned, a couple times during the game. All season, the Harbor Hawks only had 3, and now they have 6.
Exactly, and it's surprising when you come from McKeon, where it's one of the shorter parks in the CCBL. And then you come out to Brewster where we have 315 and 321 down the left and right field lines. Then 375 to left center, 395 to dead center, and 380 out to right. It's a far cry from McKeon, literally far, because it's just so deep.
Right. 318 out to right in McKeon. And the shot by Stovall was over the 375 sign, which is deeper than most of McKeon has at center. So it was certainly a great hit by Stovall. And all the home runs were long shots, of course. And again, and then there was the pitching, Chris. You know, the start by Brooks Crawford, it wasn't the greatest start. He only made it 3+, but the bullpen took over, pitched well. Sandlin came in, pitched well, and then Weiss came in and shut the door.
Yeah, Chris, and we have to get it wrapped up here on the post-game show as the rain is oncoming and all of our equipment is out here in the open. But paired with the pitching staff, a huge game for Ford Proctor as he started the season just a little bit cold early on, but got a trio of hits today, knocked in a run, and is my player of the game. Honestly, you can count him as our player of the game. We'll have an interview with him up on our SoundCloud after this. And of course, subscribe to us on YouTube as well while you're at it. We go live every game. And if you subscribe, you can hear a little something from us every time the notification comes up on your phone. You'll never miss your son or your son's game, and you'll never miss your Harbor Hawks.
Well, Chris, like you said, the rain's coming, so we got to get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. For Chris Lucy, I'm Chris Walker. Signing off. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't miss us on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Have a great night, everybody.